Yeah, it's a solid opening for both sides. I'm surprised AG went for the Lion. After that exchange in the last game, UK said he was too old for Lion and that Whitemon was better than him. And Whitemon's right there in T1. So we'll have to see if UK or LYM can perform to the standard of the Lion, show up against their fellow little Indonesians there on T1's end. The side of T1, not much to talk about. Luna, Doom, and Luna into Terrorblade. Well, more like they first picked Luna. The Terrorblade was picked up after. It's still a 23 Savage Comfort here. It's still a comfort pick for Carl as well. Maybe some flexibility to give it to Cuckoo, but we don't tend to see situations where T1 is forced to kind of swap around like that. So it should just be a stable time for Carl there. Doom itself gives you a great way to handle the Terrorblade, especially once you have the blink up. Just blink onto TV, doom him up. He can't pop Metamorphosis, he can't Sunder to stay in the fight. So the Terrorblade's presence starts to shrink a bit, and that's something AG is going to have to be ready for. I'm wondering now if AG will take that mid Darkseer again for Mamang Daya. Against a Doom, again, it's not too bad. We saw the matchup last time around, and Mamang Daya did lose out a bit, as the Doom's a bit too tanky to fully zone out. But they were still hitting some decent timings there from Mamang Daya. Quick Ags was coming out. It's not banned, so they have the option for it here in AG if they feel like they're still confident in the matchup.
Dire's turn to pick. Earth Spirit. Seconds remain. 5 seconds. Radiant's turn to pick.
Dark.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Seconds. 5 seconds remain.
Yeah, I think they've got... It actually feels really nice to close out with two supports when you're very confident in your cores, because you can counteract the AG core pickups next. Like Lion, Earth Spirit's on hand, so you already know what they can do in team fights, how they can get that control off. The Invoker comes out here for AG, so eventually you're going to have the Alacrity Invoker on play as well, buffing up Alacrity on the Terrorblade to buff up his damage and the Metamorphosis. And that can pan out. You've got decent team fight coming out from AG. Perhaps going to look for that off-lane, say an option for Tide here for AG to get the Ravage Cataclysm. I think that's one of the strongest combinations for the Ags Rush Invoker. Mid-lane matchup, Invoker Doom. Invoker should hold fine in farm. Doom as well, not going to be pressured too hard. He has a lot of durability. We'll have to watch for maybe Cold Snap combos and an Earth Spit rotation. Beyond that, should be fine. T1 into the Kunkka. So I was going to point this out. They did lack like follow-up on the Vac Wall. They could have had maybe the Centaur Stomp on the Doom. Now they've got a Solid Wave playing in with a Vac Wall combination, with a Torrent, with a boat coming through. They can buff up these really tanky heroes up front with the Doom and Darkseer. The Iron Shell with the Ags down the line with the boat buff. It's going to be hard to just burst these heroes down on T1 sand, and they've done a great job of just building up on that team fight now. AG, I'm wondering what they can do about this. Like, they have some burst with Lion. They've got good damage with the Terrorblade. They still need better setup for the Invoker, and it's going to have to be on that Wami hero. If the Tide's not banned out, that should be a clear choice for AG, but I'm thinking T1 should just ban it out in these last few bans.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Yeah. I know a lot of teams have been letting it true recently. It feels like there have been games where the Winter Wyvern has fallen flat. In fact, with the Winter Wyvern priority bans, right? That used to be first phase, one team bans Winter Wyvern, one team bans Phoenix. Teams have been more willing to let the healing Meta true. They've found ways to kind of drop down its impact. I think the heal coming out for the Winter Wyvern, teams just managed to draft around it. We've seen Winter's Curses fall flat. It's still a really strong spell. Could still slide in for T1. Like, it does combine well with a Vac Wall, can set up for the Torrent Boat combination as well. And the heal can hold steady, especially against a Terrorblade. You can block his damage, just worry about the line and Invoker damage in the end. And it does build up with your Kunkka, so it could still slide in for T1. I'd say T1 wants to get more aggressive sort of support to tie in with their own team fight, rather than Winter Wyvern. Maybe, well, they ban out the AA, so no option for that. They could still go Grimstroke. Grimstroke Doom's always great. Soulbind to get the double Doom off is nice. And AG do ban out that Winter Wyvern, as you mentioned, so no choice for the sustain. I'd say if they want, just Grimstroke. Double Doom, double X is okay. Just play around with the control you get out, especially with that Inkswell Surge is pretty scary in terms of getting some fights out.
5 seconds remain.
I feel like a Tide could still work. Like, just something with big team fight. Not Tide and Sand King. DK could be alright. Gives you push, just lacks AoE control, and then the Invoker Ags buildup doesn't make sense for Mamangaya down the line. We have seen Invoker still work without setup for the Cataclysm. It just feels like you're missing a lot of damage there. T1 with the Elder Titan builds into the Vac Wall combo. Lots of good control, lots of early presence from T1. They can play really aggressive with all the heroes they have, except maybe the Luna's going to sit back to farm more. They can get some really good rundowns here. Very tanky supports on hand. It is a 4 melee lineup. That could be an issue against a Terrorblade, but especially once Terrorize is up, or the Terror Wave is up, I can see that being an issue, maybe being kited around by the Ice Wall as well on the Invoker. So you don't tend to see that too often, but I don't think it's a big issue. They've got good ranged control from the Kunkka and the Elder Titan anyway. The Blinks will come out for the Darkseer Doom. They go to Mars in the end for AG, so they build up that for the Invoker. As you mentioned, very strong laner here. You can sort of bully out the Luna and try to slow down her farm. It is a Wami special, one of his favorite heroes there. So we'll see if they can deliver that performance on AG's side. T1, they've got that win condition on the Luna. They've got the Doom for Carl once more. They've got these big team fight combos with the Vac Wall and Cuckoo. They just need to kind of line up those timings and line up those team fights.
Seconds. 5 seconds.
I'm going to lean towards T1. I think they did go a bit wacky with the Kunkka Elder Titan support duo, but it makes sense in the context of their draft. They've got really good control coming out, very tanky across the board. Softest here is the Luna, and she kind of mitigates that with the stat build-up and the BKB down anyway. They've got this comfort hero on Carl and 23. It should shape up well for Army Geniuses. You have to play at a pretty distinct tempo. You want to be active with Wami. He has to be able to get either his Blink or Yulet's up ASAP. And they have to contest the jungle. I think that's where we've seen Army Geniuses fall flat. Jungle control from a lot of teams has not looked amazing. in fighting against these big farming heroes. They need to stop the stacks coming out for the Luna. They need to deny the jungle away from Carl, make it awkward for him to find the creeps to farm up. And if you can kind of impact that economy, that's how AG can get running. It's just harder to do than say. And we have said that multiple times for AG drafts where they have to shut down jungle. It just never happens throughout the day here.
About themselves today with the way their day started, but they certainly have time to rectify it now against T1. But again, a bit of a mission to get their own points up before those playoffs do begin. It's already flying out Zephyr. And again, we said this earlier, but it just seems like every series, both teams have something to say to each other. DB saying Monmon, which I believe is directed towards Whitemon. Discord Roosman. How does Roosman always pop up somehow during the Pro Series? Always.
I don't know. I don't know. Someone's always got to mention old number 1 Roosman. RRQ.Roosman. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
All the way back.
Flag placed. Nice little sticker there. The wick wick wick. I believe that's a way of laughing in some languages, right? Is it Indonesian? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly it.
Yeah.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Yeah, you've got the Indonesians going wak wak wak. You have the Filipinos going ja 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 ja, or H3 as everyone else does. Then you have the Thais going 5 by 5. Yeah, 5 by 5.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember. I was very.
Step lively now.
What?
Your
What?
admiral is on board.
Cuckoo saying 1 minute GG. All right, there you go. Let's see. Do it.
Oh goodness me. I wonder if Carl ever gets bored of Savage with the Indo Pride. There you go, Savage. Nice cultured man. The actual spirit is Whitemon. Might feel very confident to rush forward now with all that bonus damage, but UK, no. Spike is there. He's not going to allow any damage. He won't have a choice though. Whitemon gets in, gives him a couple punches with that huge fist. He's going to make his way back into the lane, and we may as well start with the top lane, where you will see Army Geniuses with LYM and Wommy. Of course, top lane, you are going to have 23 Savage and Whitemon on the Older Titan. I'd say there's not too much kill threat here towards Savage. Like, yes, you can expect LYM to try and roll in, and maybe if you connect, you can go in with the Spirit as well from Wommy, but you've got an Elder Titan. As long as Whitemon gets aggressive, as he is right now, it's going to be hard to make the jump onto Savage.
Yeah, it's very hard to commit onto that kill. Savage is already just getting good zoning up, prioritizing the Lucent Beam to actually hit the hero instead. And Wami can't do too much to block that damage. You're a dual melee lane here for the side of AG. So that just gives this Elder Titan a lot of room to just keep running down. And because you're going for this pull, Wami just cops a lot of hits.
Oh, he might be dead. Whitemon, one more will do it. He's going to die for it as well. He's got an actual spirit up. He'll get it. Oh, the Elder Titan. It's just one of those heroes at level 1 that you just can't underestimate. And I mean, LYM, he's doing what he's meant to be doing. It's an Earth Spirit. He wants to pull. He wants to deny the wave behind the tier 1 tower. Now, Wommy does end up getting caught with his pants down, and he's not going to be too happy about that. Of course, we'll head over to the other lanes as well while we still have a chance. You've got the mid lane where Mamang Daya is going to be against Carl on the Doom. Mamang Daya, he might be able to get some decent harassment off onto that Doom, but it's Carl. He's played this hero that many times recently. I'm sure he never panics, and he's just going to be able to keep devouring, keep getting the net worth lead, and really just never suffering, I'm sure. If I say that, Cold Snap is there. Tornado's going to connect. I hope I didn't just jinx him. He does need a Fairy Fire, and he will be okay. I might just stop talking about the mid lane now, John.
Yeah, I find it interesting Carl went for that Envenomed Weapon as his creep choice passive. So he's got heal reduction if he actually hits Mamang Daya. That's nice. He's got some DPS coming out though.
Yeah, Cuckoo, he ends up killing off UK. So another nice kill there in the off lane now, as DB's going to be left alone, but he's going to have the meta there on the Terrorblade. Look, going back to that envenomed attack, or the envenomed weapon, why is it regen reduction 35? Like, is that 35% Well, why do these things always change with the tool?
I would assume 35%, but that sounds pretty busted.
It does, doesn't
to be
it?
honest with you, it sounds really busted. So I can't tell you because, well, it's Dota. And we don't have clarity in this game. God help us if we do.
We do have clarities.
Oh, we have
not
clarity.
clarity.
Yeah, not clarity in the game. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. He's holding his own. Carl's just farming up. He is building up a good lead over Mamangdaya, and it's down to
Savage.
your camp.
He'll get a kill. Wami's on the chase. Creeps are going to block him in for a second. Savage, he might have enough time to get out, but no. Quelling Blade through the tree line. Wami is going to ensure the kill. Now Wyamon going to try and get something done on the Elder Titan. Wami just going to go ahead and pop them and go get the spear out. That's a very nice pick off now for Army Geniuses, finding the position 1 of T1.
Yeah, that kill kind of compensates for the slower start they're getting on their lanes. And it does help Wami kind of recover out. You were talking about him having a slower start. He is still lagging behind in
Zephyr.
CS. Oh.
Now it's Zephyr in trouble, John, but they've got the Iron Shells and UK needs to back off. Cuckoo doesn't actually have a point in Surge right now. He'd opt for the level 1 vacuum at the level 2 mark, so he won't be able to continue the chase onto the Lion. With this double Iron Shell lane going on here with T1, it is quite devastating to try and play into.
That's not easy for Terrorblade, and they've got the X controller as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, Wami does end up going down the bot lane. They are going to try and make the jump in onto DB and Zephyr. He can just keep up the chase. Cuckoo's trying to cut off DB, almost blocks him in, but the Quelling Blade was there. They still back him back, and he just can't survive. It's just so hard when you don't have the meta up. Now, Torrent, UK, he's going to try and juke it out, but there's no chance. He'll get another. T1, it's already 6-1 their way, 2k net worth of advantage, and everyone's laughing on their side.
Yeah, I mean, their lineup, it's down to how tanky everyone is. They can afford to dive deep. They can afford to go for those big jumps forward. The Terrorblade in this lane, when Metamorphosis is down, he can't last hit. Like, you have all this great armor, it doesn't do anything against Iron Shell. So Cuckoo gets to have that early presence, just gets to keep burning down DB, make it hard for him to get farm up. You can't really stop it. Again, the softest lane here for T1 is Savage's lane. He died once, but he's found 2 assists, 1 kill. He's pretty fine here.
Savage. All the smashes there, but Whitemon's going to be around to make sure that nothing comes off that roll. Still, after all, you know, as much as you dominated in the laning phase, it can be kind of hard to really shut it down because we are in this weird kind of jungle meta where you can't really stop these carries that can just flash farm that jungle. Bottom lane, Cuckoo looks like they are going to go for a bit of a dive again onto DB. UK will be there though with the Hex. Just make sure that the T1 are unable to pursue DB. But this Terrorblade, I mean, he's going to start really suffering in terms of farm. Looks like DB's already kind of given up on the lane. He's just going to go straight into the jungle. It's a little bit early, but he does have his treads up, so that will make it a little bit better.
Yeah, it's still not the situation you want to find yourself in, having to abandon the lane, but Cuckoo.
Yeah, rotation in. They've got Mamangdaya there. Cuckoo with the surge. Reflection is out. They should have the damage, and they will. So Mamangdaya, he makes the rotation, he gets a kill, and he'll buy a bit of time back in the lane for their TB.
That's a much needed space being bought out by Mamangdaya. One of the nice things about an Invoker, you get a good side lane rotation, you can open up the map just a bit more. That does give Carl a lot of space mid to keep farming, but it's a Doom. That's the reason why you can leave. Doom's just going to keep farming no matter what you do. You can just afford to leave him alone. Double damage up on Carl as well. He's pretty deep though.
Yeah, roll in. Tornado's actually going to make the roll miss, but it won't matter too much. This Carl is very, very deep. Earn spikes there as well. They do secure the kills. Now Zephyr, he tried to rotate to help out. It's going to probably cost him though. LYM, he just needs to land the roll. Yeah, and he's on target as well. Earth Spike lands, Mamangdaya has another cold snap, and Zephyr will be another kill fed the way of Mamangdaya. The DB, he loves what he's seeing on that Terrorblade. Very, very happy with what's happening in that mid lane.
Mamangdaya is just getting the activity off for his team, kind of compensating for how wonky the side lanes have been going. The Invoker is rushing the Spirit Vessel as well. So you're going to have even more damage throughput. You're going to reduce the healing coming out on Carl when he does pop that Scorched Earth. So you can kind of get them under control on T1's end, especially since down the line you're expecting the boat to come out, and the Urn just helps you mitigate some of that stalling from T1. For T1's part, while all that happens, they have built up some massive stacks for Savage to clear out, and he can clear them out really well. It doesn't take long for Luna at level 7, going for a 2-3-2 build, just get the farm going even without a source of healing. He has a possessed mask, so you don't even need a mom to sustain. AG won't let that happen, though. They're smoked up.
But they are into the jungle. Savage, he's pretty much got most of the stack already done, but it looks like a lot of it is going to be taken away as they roll in LYM. Elder Smash off the mark. Tornado, though, is going to connect onto Whitemon. They might be able to settle for the Elder Titan. Savage, he doesn't want to let the stacks go, though. He's going back in for them. He's got a bit of time, and he will actually get away with this. So they lose Whitemon, but they still get the gold on Savage. And now Zephyr will come in. Torrent will connect with the X, but that's going to be about it. Not going to pursue much further, and now even Carl shows up just to really make sure they can clear out these stacks. They certainly don't want to give a big gold influx back the way of Army Geniuses if they can avoid it.
Yeah, they just have all the heroes to clear out these stacks as well. They've got the Iron Shell to help. They've got the Glaives damage bouncing around. The side of AG, they want to start contesting that jungle more. So they're grouping up for an early push in that top tier 1. T1 are not quite in position to trade. They could maybe look for the defense, but the arena's ready to go here on Wami. It looks like the fortify is enough to stall them out, and I think if AG don't find that tower soon enough, they're going to have some issues, because T1 is sustaining this farm quite nicely in every single core. It's only Cuckoo falling behind, but that's to be expected on the off lane there.
Yeah, certainly so. The thing is, with the Darkseid, you're not going to take too long to catch up. You can just keep Iron Shelling creeps in the lane and keeping it pushed out. There's really not much you can do about it if you are the other team, apart from just trying to take out that creep. He's going to take the time now, Cuckoo, to try and make sure that he can start flash farming and work towards that Aghanim Scepter. AG, we're going to try and buy some time here for DB. We'll have to focus down that tier 1 top tower first before they do get going. Wymon is around and is trying to be as annoying as humanly possible with that Astral Spirit. And Carl's going to move in now as well. He's got an Invis Rune and the Doom up. DB's going to be targeted. He got the mana off in time, though, so maybe he can force the fight. The arena, though, it's going to be defensive as Whitemon. He'll get a nice stop. He found the main target that they want, but the stop is not going to last long enough. So in the end, the Doom, well, it was very nice. It just was not enough to secure the Terrorblade kill. On the brighter side for T1, they are still going to hold on to that Tier 1 tower. So there's that.
They make a heavy commitment to really hold on to this jungle. They know they've got a draft that's fairly greedy, that needs a lot of farm. They do manage to take the bot, but Savage is alone.
That he is, Savage. You don't want to die like this. EMP is going to fly through. He'll try to heal up through this, but he can't even get a Lucent Beam out now. And Mamang Daya will take his 3rd kill of the game. Been very effective on this Invoker so far. 23 Savage just not expecting the rotation, does get punished.
Yeah, fairly greedy position for Savage. And finding the tier 1 is nice. It opens up that bot jungle a bit more here, and they've got more room to build up farm. But you don't want to lose your life for it, and that's an important pickup for AG. They know the team split up on T1 side.
Yeah, Wami. It's being targeted here. You do have Zephyr and Cuckoo around. It's still a Mars, though. It's not the easiest kill in the world. Wami's gonna back off anyway. Catch him out. Mid lane, Carl might be in danger. A nice roll in, all the mana being drained down, and Carl's gone. Army Geniuses off the back of Mamang Daya just being so aggressive. And it just continues to work out for them.
Yeah, they're just getting the kills they need. It's not enough to turn this network lead back, though. Like, they kill one core, the other 2 cores are farming, and you just can't catch them all at once. I think is the big issue for AG. So T1 still getting gold, pouring in onto 23. When Carl dies, Cuckoo's farming up. He already has the point booster up, so he's saving for the Ags rush, and they still hold on to that top tier 1. if AG can't take this tower, the jungle's just way too open.
Wommy, nice TP away, is going to be able to get out Zephyr. He was trying to get the vision to get the X back, but doesn't quite get in range. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Savage. He's been caught again. Mamang Daya lands a tornado and LYM will pop the magnetize. They even land the finger. It won't be enough, but they'll keep the refresh on the magnetizer. Savage is going to try and back Sunstrike. Is going to be off the mark. And 23 Savage, he does survive through it. As Carl now, he does kill off UK on the line. So this time around, they get the Luna out. They protect the triangle. And Army Geniuses, while they were very close to getting the kill, it just wasn't close enough.
Yeah, it's a good jump to make, but giving the kill out to Carl does kind of set a bad precedent. Carl is just rushing towards BKB, and that should enable his Doom to just stand forward, not going for the blink rush, and that they don't really need way to jump in. They've got the X to set up on one hero, they've got the follow-up control on Whitemon, they've got the vac wall for all the other bits and pieces of the team fight. So Carl can just afford to be a big frontliner that just runs up, gets control. In fact, never mind that, because he actually went back for the blink. So he's got the blink, he can jump in. Ignore everything I said for the last half minute.
I already did, John, but thank you for that. Top lane, Wommy, Mamang Daya. They're trying to set up for that tier 1 top tower. Mamang Daya very close to that Midas now. You'll set her up as well on Wommy. Gonna feel very nice to be able to set up for himself. T1. They're grouped up. They're ready to go. Doom is back up and online. Going back to that blink you talked about on the Doom, it is now up. I want to try and kind of run back that last team fight and see if they can secure the Doom on the TB and DB. He's not going to be expecting it. Carl, he gets the vision, gets the stun, a nice silence from LYM, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, they don't even need the Doom. The stun into the torrent was more than enough. Hey, the creeps away now from Army Geniuses. And it's going to be a 5k net worth lead suddenly to the side of T1.
And AG are still not able to find that top tier 1. It should fall now, but the deny can still come in, and they've gotten max value from T1 in that trade. Like they've just invaded the triangle, they've cleared out camps, they've forced movement out from AG. Their top jungle has been very safe. AG is still smoked up as Trito. They've got the Yules up in Wami, so you can set up for the spear now.
Yeah. DB. Get started. Roll. Gonna be on the mark. They've got 23 Savage though. Nice man to dodge. No, it's still gonna land the spear. Is there finger out as well? Savage, he's still alive. He's gonna try and fight back. The tornado will be enough though. Mamang Daya, he does secure the kill. Can he get himself out? Deafening Blast is there. X will hold him down and he should be coming right back into the loving arms of Carl. Now Wommy, LYM, they're all gonna try and run. But it looks like Carl is going to be on the chase. Misses the stop. It won't matter too much. They can try for LYM, but he's also going to roll away.
Did I hear
Zephyr,
squeak?
he'll keep the chase up on Wommy. Torrent is going to be avoided. But Carl is running way too fast, and now they've got the X there anyway. They will still be able to secure the kill onto the Mars. But you got 23 Savage, so it's a 2-for-1 kind of trade on all 3 cores. You can kind of argue which one's more worth. But in the end, T1, that they're still 8k ahead. It doesn't seem like any of these kills on Savage matters. You're constantly losing DB as well on the Terrorblade.
It doesn't pan out. Like, it's not a positive trade because you're still losing more than you're gaining here for AG. Mid tier 1 being shoved in. Savage has the damage and has the backup to get this done. AG, they don't have the spells to defend, they don't have arena to stop this push, so they're gonna have to give the objective away. T1 get more control. They can start to think about Roshan next if they want to. They can start invading that bot jungle to get more farm flowing. The BKB for Carl being saved up for next, and that just gives him all the presence up front. We've seen his Doom just really put in the work in these team fights. With that BKB up, you just don't have anything to stop him on AG's end. You even have the Ags already running here on Cuckoo. So he's got that additional Iron Shell to just really push back waves, to do some damage, and to sustain his team. Iron Shell plus 300 HP when you put it on someone now. very, very strong along with the boat buff, so you just can't burst the side of T1 fast enough on AG's end unless they catch a single target pickoff.
The game will slow down a bit. Both sides going to take it easy until their spells are back off cooldown. Bot lane, I say they're going to slow down. They're going to rush forward. They've spotted out UK, it seems. Not the biggest kill in the world, but there are 5 heroes down bot for some reason for that kill. Perhaps feeling like maybe DB was around with him, but that's not really the case. And nevertheless, they are going to get the kill on that Lion. And I suppose now with the Ags up on Cuckoo, you could just continue the aggression. I talk about how broken this Ags is all the time. Let me tell you, John, it's going to feel quite broken right now for T1, as they could really just keep rushing towards Army Geniuses with no regard for human life.
They have nothing to care about. They're just going to smoke again. They've got Doom, they've got the boat, they've got the wall ready. You can just take any fight that comes in AG. With an AK deficit, you can't do much about it. They're still trying to build up farm. They are dragging the attention away from DB here.
Yeah, LYM, not the target they want. They'd rather Mamang Daya.
One of my favorites.
Not gonna get it though. Right, Mon. Still gonna hang around. We seem to know he's there somewhere. He did drop a ward, and that's gonna be it. T1, they're not gonna be able to aggress. Army Genius is going to hang out in the tree line, make sure they remain safe. It's all about buying DB time to farm on the Terrorblade anyway. Right, so I mean, as long as you can drag out the game, you know, you'll take the risk with 23 Savage against DB's Terrorblade. We are going to have to wait out this quick connection issue though. Any last words from Cuckoo? My goodness.
UK sex stuff. Have mercy.
Bye-bye, UK. Who did he even hex there? Did he even get a hex off?
No. No.
I think he hexed the creep or something, John.
Yeah.
He hexed something.
Yeah, he hexed creep. Just for fun.
Alright. Just for the lols, yeah. LYM. Not quite the target they want. In fact, ooh, Wami in a spot of danger. Yeah, he does have a TP though. He should be able to get out. Uh-oh, no he can't. And he used the TP as well. He cancels it immediately, but now there's 100% no way out of this. And they'll just commit the doom. They'll be happy with that. Whitemon, yeah, he was the culprit, John. He got him.
Yeah, they get the kill they were looking for in the end. And T1, they only expend Doom. Boat is not too long for cooldown. They could still run and gun if they want to. They've got the vac wall ready. There's just no rest for T1, where AG, yeah, they are buying space out for DB. He's still 3k behind Luna. That is one major item that Savage will have that the TB won't. We always talk about it. When Luna has an item advantage, it is a big hero, especially against the Terrorblade. T1, they just smoke up. They don't necessarily need the Doom. They just need the stuns coming through with that blink here.
Yeah. UK.
Dire structures are fortified.
Nice hiding in that tree line to break the smoke. It's gonna make it so they might have time to get Mamang Daya out. Ghostwalk his way out. However, UK is gonna get caught by the torrent of Zephyr. They'll get something, but they don't really find the target they wanted, which was Mamang Daya. That Invoker just gonna run right out and go back to the other side of the map. Still, Tier 1, while they're here, they're just going to start forcing in this Tier 1 tower. Oh, excuse me, Tier 2 tower. Siege creep there. Plenty of iron shells going around here from Cuckoo. Nothing to be afraid about.
Yeah, they've got all the damage, all the control. Again, they still hold on to the boat, the vac wall, the earth splitter as well. So no worries, and they're just going to force it into the high ground. They know they're that strong at this point, 21.5 minutes in. AG, they need a defense here. They need to at least de-shove this wave, and T1 with that kind of shove out with a response coming through, they could look for the Roshan X, knowing all those TPs were expended for the defense.
Yeah, certainly so.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Army Geniuses
Oh.
Right in, nice arena, but the BKB's there. Savage gonna pop it immediately. He's gonna try to fight with the metal. It won't matter. He's already gone. LYM, he also gets caught out on the Earth Spirit, and he's gonna try and roll. You've got 23. They are rushing right to the Roshan pit. T2 tower, they won't waste time.
They get a couple of pickoffs first. No arena in this team play. You might be able to play with Poker, but it's such a massive risk. They're not even going to try to contest. First rush going the way of T1. AG is still trying to get it under terribly. BKB running on DB. And he's just farming the triangle, which could be a good spot once the Roche ends here.
Still trying to move in. Tidal is there from Zephyr. Not going to catch the real BKB, but they got the XR. Uh-oh, they've got the Terror Blade that'll force the BKB. DB, he's back in. Carl's got the Doom. He had three of that. Surge up. Now, who will they? It's Mama. Where's the Doom? They will eventually get the stun. Then, no, he's not even going to bother throwing it out. He will eventually, just to make sure they get the kill. In LYM, he will also get the kill. It's Carl. He will continue asking the same question, John. Is he a handsome devil? I'd say he is.
Yeah. I mean, if looks kill, Carl's been people this game. 4 had a great time on the Doom. They're going for that mid-tier 2. They've got the security and Aegis on hand. They do not have Doom and Eclipse. I just don't think it's enough to stop it. They do have the Vac Wall combo ready on Cuckoo anyway. They've got the boat to help them stay buffed up in these fights. And the high ground defense for AG, it really relies on landing their combinations with the Arena and their Invoker. And with the BKBs up, T1 just manages to pop the right use of that BKB every time. The Reflection will buy space, and you are seeing the issues of Luna into TV. Lots of damage Savage did to himself there. So he's gonna have to regen off first, but the pressure's on, and AG, their map has shrunk. It's a 14k lead for T1. They still need a lot of items to come out on DB. He does have the Crystallis up, so you might hope for a good play with Metamorphosis when the team fight does break out.
T2 gonna get started. 23 Savage with the Aegis up, with the bonus held from the Iron Shells. He's just not fearing anything, especially while he has the BKB to boot. He'll leave the man to illusions. He'll go for a free reset there to the fountain. One of the beauties of that support Kunkka is having that reset button. However, a bit of a sneaky play here from the side of the AGs. They rush in. Metamorphosis is going to be popped. But Carl, he's in with the Doom again. They found the Terror Blade. They burst him down immediately. 23 Savage, he gets UK. LYM, he will get dragged right back in with the tidal wave. And Wami's still being chased down. It's a complete team wipeout. Mamang Dai is the only survivor. He'll push out the wave a little bit, but they have some creeps. They'll be right.
Yeah, and the mid wave is going to shove in as well. Looks like coming out from T1. So they're always going to have access to the high ground. AG, these spawns are short, so they can still force a fight out, but I think T1's they're just way too big. 8-23, 18k lead at 26 minutes in. They take the top racks. They are not going full greed. Now they just go for the X mark reset again. And Savage just gets to work.
And speaking of getting to work, John Carl gets to work. He gets UK. Roll in LYM. I'm not sure about that one, sir. Desperation plays, it feels like. They got an X off. It's going to be on Wami, but he'll use through it. That mid rats. We under T1. The defense looking extremely challenging for Army Geniuses and Zephyr. Tornado EMP's there. It won't really matter too much. I mean, he loses some mana, but that's about it. And then onto the third racks, just get the Megas up. Savage is quite low. Still has the Aegis. Sunstrike going to be off the mark. And in fact, UK is just going to get bursted down. No assistance necessary. He will buy back. 23 Savage. Guess what, John? He's gone back for a reset.
Yep. Beauty of that. Kunkka, just go home, come back, go again. Like nothing happened.
Absolutely. EMP, drain a bit of mana. I mean, 23 seconds, he could just die. Get the Aegis to get the free respawn and get another reset. Reflection, it does hurt, but you can Manta it off. Savage, he is going to give up his first life, it looks like. Earth Spike, though, doesn't connect. Savage, he wants them to fly in and try to secure his death. And they do with the spear. But the last lane of barracks is set to fall now. Army Geniuses, they are not going to try and force the fight. They have meta back up in 1. This might be their last-ditch attempt as they go in for the Hex. Reflection there as well. Torch is there. Arena is down. They've got the decent Arena as well, but Savage, he's going to be keeping through it. Now the Eclipse, the Doom was out as well. They found DB on the TB, and that'll be it. They call it GG.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Won. Now in the tournament, they take this win against Army Geniuses 9-29, 25k up in very quick fashion. 28-minute game. AG, it feels like the games they've played so far haven't been...
middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Scan, eager to know Dire's whereabouts. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Killing spree! Killing spree! Unbelievable! Courier has been killed.
Blessings upon a
One
loyal warrior.
side's misstep is the other's cunning play. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dominating! Unbelievable! Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is no more. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's ancient is under attack. Victory goes to the Radiant.
My pension.
Radiant are scanning for enemies. is under attack. Godlike!
and fun. It fills me with nothingness.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is no more. Scanning for enemies. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A bauble from the void.
Double tap.
Top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning for enemies. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
From Army Geniuses, and T1 did ban out the TB. So you don't have that option. Not the best Magnus combo anyway.
Dire's
There is the option for PA if you really want to go into that route, and they will go with the LC first. They've got great Dispel on hand with the Team Commander. They've got a great way to manage the lane. T1 get the Magnus counter and the Winter Wyvern. Surprising. Army Geniuses leave that alone. Winter's Curse can just break up that RP initiation. AG's going all in on their combos though. They have RP, Mystic Flare, dual Mystic Flare coming out. They've got double silence with Soulbind, so there is some value now in the Grimstroke. I don't know about going all in on those combos though. The strongest one is the off-lane dual combination, and T1 they just go into the TA. So they've got great scaling with TA Luna. There's an issue of greed on T1's end, but they've got the Winter Wyvern to bust these fights out from AG anyway. So they can kind of prevent the big RPs from being impactful as long as the Winter Wyvern is a safe distance away.
5 seconds remain. It is Dire's ban.
Yeah, I think, you know, playing multiple games does that to a team. I think AG's just trying to get what they want and try to run with the energy. So we'll see if they can get that done. Rather interesting way of closing out the night. The next series doesn't have either of these teams, so it's a bit of a break for both teams after this one. And we'll have to see how they close out their drafts. Like AG with the Magnus Sky, there is still that Magnus Flex on safer mid. So it's still either the DB here or the Mamangdai here that we're waiting for. And T1 seems to believe it's a safe lane DB. They ban out the Razor, they ban out the Bat Rider, all counters towards TA mid. So I think AG is going to have to find a way to handle Carl's TA. We've seen the TA just run away. If you give enough space out, it just takes over with the Luna here. And we have seen AG up against that TA. They just never deny way to farm. That's been a constant issue. I always mention it. You have to block out that jungle. You have to take control early on. Hasn't panned out in the last 3 games. Maybe this is the game where they start to steer it their way, start to really apply the pressure on the side of T1 to stop that farm game. They also have to secure their own farm. It's a Magnus lineup. Magnus needs farm to really be relevant. You're looking for Blink, you're looking for Echo Saber, and then maybe the AC, Daedalus, or Lotus Orb, whatever you need afterwards. T1, they go back into the Kunkka. So looking like perhaps a bit of a flex as to their offlane, probably the Cuckoo offlane Kunkka, and AG just close with a Husker. It can handle the TA lane. I think you've got that lined up for AG at least. Burning Spears will eat your refraction quite nicely. It's got really good early presence here as well. It still benefits from the added damage aspect of the Empower. It's not going to cleave away. I don't know if this fixes the issues for AG. If they can play around the timings of it, it can be devastating. Like have the Husker rotate onto the Legion Commander lane, just burst the hero down with Duel along with a Mystic Flare coming out and keep running as 3 or 4. You can kind of build up once your Magnus is ready to join in with Blink RP. That's when the team fights get spicy. I think the counterplay from T1's much scarier though. Like the boat's there to delay that burst. They've got the Winter's Curse. They've got the answers to that kind of clump up. And I think AG is still going to have to be really cautious despite having that last pick slide through from Mamangdai. They can slow down Carl. I think the pressure's on Mamangdai more than anyone else to ensure the mid lane matchup goes his way. And I suppose when you have a Husker, you can kind of do that fairly easily.
Immediate tipster, 23 Savage. He's going to take it from Mamangdai. Not sure why. He's going to get one though.
You don't ask questions when you get tipped.
You don't have the size.
It's free points.
It's a trap.
Misclick. There you go. That's the explanation after Mamangdai. Didn't mean to.
he wanted to tip Carl. Unfortunate. Now, but it won't matter too much as we might see a fight breaking out in just a moment. T1, they do show up. Savage, he'll show up in the mid lane to put a bit of a sticker down. Who is that Carl? With the tiny, is that what it's meant to be?
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it's supposed to be Carl.
Very nice. I haven't seen that sticker before. It's the first time I've seen it, but it looks very nice.
Yeah, and speaking of, Carl disconnects. Maybe he didn't like seeing it. Maybe that's why they don't drop that sticker. He already got the loser on his mid. Very nice to tell your mid that he's a loser.
The team on one of those teams, like they seem like you're the kind of team that would start just trash talking each other just for the hell of it. You know, just like an SCA pub, right? You don't trash talk the other team, you trash talk your own team. That's how you get them motivated. Oh, Wommy! we don't talk about that game here, Wommy. Keep that out of the chat, please.
I believe he meant to type CSGO.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even know what that game was that he mentioned. Is it a game? Not 100% sure.
It just looked like a strange set of letters to me, Mike.
Absolutely. My goodness. Well, Wami seems to have some inside information as to what's wrong with T1 right now, I'll tell you that, John. So definitely, the mind's been in the wrong place here for T1. They've recovered now. It was just a couple days. It was pretty rough, in the group stages, but they are starting to look like the T1 we're used to seeing as well.
Yeah, they have bounced back in form the past 2 days. Let's see if they can maintain that in this game. We do see our mid. Very good blocks coming out from Carl, so the waves immediately under his tower. Mamang Daya, of course, is what he's laning against on TA. Up against the Husker, never fun. Burning spears are up, and Carl's just going to cop some damage. Good range on the Husker to kind of zone out the TA. We'll have to see how Carl holds out as the levels go up. You're going to need quite a few of those levels to try to sustain. The refraction's not going to feel great. It will at least buy you some time, but you don't want to get free hits of the spear off if possible. And Carl's just really going to have to watch his spacing every time.
I mean, he can't do much though, right? Like he's going to need some levels up to get those Sire Blades to have the extra range so he can actually, step away a bit from this Husk. But it is going to be a rather rough lane for Carl, I'm sure. And it might just be one of those lanes where you have to kind of go to the jungle very early on. Just accept the fact that it is a Husker. It's a direct counter. You're still a TA who could just freely farm the jungle. But Carl's still doing fine right now, all things being said and done. We'll have a look at the other lanes when we have a chance though. 23 Savage is going to be on the Luna. You've got one, and that's a very nice press the attack out from Wami. Rather overwhelming odds. But it is going to be 23 Savage and Whitemon against Wami and LYM once again. They've got the Skywrath LC, which seems like a very annoying lane to have to play into for T1. For now, they're going to be okay though. It's probably just going to mean a lot of regen being burnt on this dire side.
Yeah, that's the main thing. LYM did go for the concussive shot, so it's not the most mana efficient as Harassment. It does have a longer cooldown as well, but it does allow you to get a lot of right-click shots. You can try to win the right-click trade against these lower-range heroes, and they're just doing a great job of trying to apply pressure on Savage. Unfortunately, Savage is still finding farm, still up there in CS, and Whitemon is allowed to have some creeps. And with that troll creep, you can just get the nets, get the follow-ups done.
Uh-oh, bot lane is where the first blood does occur. Cuckoo ends up dropping on that off-lane Kunkka. DB the one to secure the first blood gold. It's going to make his Magnus feel a lot better in these earlier stages. I'm not 100% sure how that's happened, but it was probably a skewer back into the tier 1 tower, I'd assume, and it looks like UK did also commit the Ink Swell, which is it's pretty standard. He got stunned underneath the tier 1 tower.
Yep, it's the one lane that looks really nice for AG. This dual combination comes online very fast with Magnus and Grimstroke. Just play with that skewer. It's a melee matchup as well, so Cuckoo will always have to be cautious about being caught out like that. They can line up the shot with the shockwave on top of it, and they can even set up with the slow of the Stroke Fate. So DB doesn't have the hardest time in getting that skewer back. And Zephyr's doing a good job of controlling the lane though, managed to get a pull to stall out, and that should give Cuckoo some space to gain some EXP. But DB is that big win condition here for AG. He's the guy that needs to farm up. So far, he's doing a great job. Not quite at the same pace as Savage, but when you have a kill under your belt, that kind of makes up for it.
That it does. Carl, yeah. Just on the other side of the jungle, they're probably going to have a look here and try to find out where he's gone. Carl's going to go for a chase on the courier. He won't be able to reach, so he's back into the lane. And I suppose if you're army geniuses, you know that even if you dominate the TA in lane, it's still going to be able to catch up in the jungle. It's just what the hero does. So you've got to chase him down. Top lane, LYM, he looks like he is set to drop. 23 Savage, he may go down to Wami. Whitemon's trying to help him. Fairy Fire is there. Wami, he doesn't have the mana for the overwhelming odds. He'll keep the chase up. Savage is going to try and juke this one out, but Wami is still going to commit for this chase. Whitemon now with the body blocks, does have the enchant back up, and they are going to be able to turn. Savage being a little bit cheeky there as he rushes forward onto Wami. And then they get the kill anyway. I'm not sure why he had to step back towards Wami before he salved him up, but it almost felt like he was taunting him.
Oh, you know he was. Maybe he has the taunt on cooldown or doesn't have the taunt equipped on Luna, but That was sending a message. 2-1 now, T1. Despite maybe something wonkier lanes, top lane is still shaping up to basically be free farm for 23 Savage. He's just able to clear out the creep wave. The pressure from the LC was there, but if you don't hammer in the kill, you don't really stop the Luna. Whitemon's still able to get some work in the jungle, not the biggest stacks coming out. LYM has been doing a good job of keeping Whitemon tied into the lane. But it doesn't feel like it's going to be an issue. As long as Savage is not dying, you're happy here.
Well, he is kind of dying right now, but Whitemon's going to be there with a follow-up stun from that Centaur. Wami, he's just taking so much damage.
Thanks.
It's not going to be quite enough to kill him off, but it will force a salve usage here from LYM. Because you are at the point now where this Enchantress is going to be very annoying, and props to Whitemon, already level 4 on this Pulse 5 Enchantress. Doing a great job. LYM, he's probably going to drop. It's so hard to contest Enchantress like this when he's got this many levels this early on. He's on par with Wami in terms of levels. And that kind of goes back to Whitemon just farming the jungle by himself, giving the solo XP, the 23 Savage on that Luna. And it just makes so they get that XP advantage and they can just continuously dominate this top lane.
Yeah, they've done a great job of just getting this draft working. And the only lane that looks a bit wonky for T1 is the bot lane, but Cuckoo doesn't mind playing this far behind. And I think in the bigger picture here for T1, like, yeah, you're giving DB a lot of room to farm on the Mag. At the same time, are you really worried about Magnus? When you've got the Winter Wyvern, when you've got the boat to kind of stall out the burst, it doesn't feel like DB is going to be able to get the burst damage he needs in that control period in time with these tools on T1. So I think that's why T1 is just kind of sacking the Cuckoo lane. They just leave him solo, give him EXP. They're not really jumping the Kunkka to abuse that fact. They're still building up giant stacks in the jungle here in T1. And Carl, he's at level 7. He can clear a couple of these stacks out now and start to recover.
Oh, who are you kidding, John? He can clear all of them if he really wants to. It's a TA. He's even got an Arcane Rune bottled up. Just, you know, to have that earlier refraction cooldown. They won't get the Ancient stack, which is a bit unfortunate for Carl, but it won't matter too much. He'll get to work on the jungle stacks, get a few neutral items for the team. It's going to be a very nice feeling here for Team 1. Now, again, I think Army Geniuses, they really want to try and focus in on not allowing this to happen. Mamang Daya, he can't chase him around forever, so all he can do is try to match the farm on the Husker. And in all fairness, Husker does farm very fast as well, because of that, what is the spell even called anymore? Berserker. That added attack speed he does get. It's gonna make it very quick for him as well. So, you know, he might just be able to match the farm of Carl on this TA.
Yeah, he's keeping up in terms of CS. I think he is still number 1 in net worth as well. Do you see? It just feels like he hasn't really bullied out the TA. I think when your TA is still within 200 gold of you, that's a scary outcome, because you expect to dominate the lane. And Carl just played it right. He just ditched the lane early. He kept farming jungle, so you just avoid that Husker effect. And now you've got a Husker who's equally farmed with the TA. It doesn't feel as impactful. So we'll have to see if Mamang Dai can get the aggression out for his team, start to find those big heroes he needs to kill off. Maybe once he has the point in the life break, that's when AG can start to group, have Mamang Dai get his rotations off. For now, he is just going to go for the more passive farm, and that is just giving more room to T1. I think if you slow the pace of the game, you'll always favor the TA Luna lineup. They can always scale late quite fast. At the least for AG, you have a Magnus who can also farm the same way. It's not quite as quick for DB. He's still lagging slightly behind. His jungle is under control of T1. They've got some information as to where DB's farming, so they are aware that the Magnus is trying to build up.
I am. I'm going to try and get some wards down here. Wymon's going to scout this out. Try and go after the Enchantress Wami. He's going to rush forward. There's no untouchable available, so you should be able to burst her down, and they'll get him. First jewel is going to be online now for Wami. Bit of bonus damage for him on DLC. They won't quite be able to kind of harass 23 Savage though, which is probably what they would have enjoyed doing, but they'll take what they can get.
Yeah, it's something that opens up the top lane for a bit of a shove out as well. We've got 3 heroes lined up to maybe look for a tower trade. Not the quickest push with just the LC though. You will need some more damage on that, and Silver's there anyway to kind of just splinter blast the creep, so you don't really get as much push going. And overall, it's like one hero holding 3 up top. You're very happy if you're T1. Your jungle's still not being invaded. Savage clears out another massive stack for free. Has the Dragon Lance up. They do drag up Mamang Daya, so now the tower should just fall, and he does have the value points in the inner fire and his ult on the life break.
Well, Zephyr has been spotted. Wami, he has another duel. They'll just wait it out until the cold embrace is over, and that'll be another duel victory to the way of Wami. But now the rotations, Mamang Daya, he ends up dying to the boat. That armor toggle wasn't there, Carl. He also gets LYM, so you got a bit of duel damage. But you lost your Husker and you lost your Skywrath. Definitely not a very worthwhile trade here for Army Geniuses.
There is little
No,
hope for Dire.
we were just saying how the Husker has to go after that running start. First time going out of the lane, dying as well in the fight, not a great feeling. The only thing AG's getting out of that movement is that it's space for DB. So the Magnus just gets to play in that jungle, gets to play catch up, has the blink up and running on DB. So they can play with the blink RP or at least the blink skewer back. Maybe they start to find some opportunities to take some bigger fights now. But I don't know if you really want the Magnus to fight. Because once you do, no one's going to be farming an AG side, and all the cores of T1 are actually farming. Again, Savage is just on the opposite side of the map every single time. No punishment coming through for that Luna. And she's just going to be able to keep climbing up, keeping up with Carl on TA. This greedy duo farming up is just not being punished.
Radiant's bottom tower
That it is
in
not, John.
danger.
Certainly not. Savage just across the map, just staying away from everybody else. Not even going to push the bot tier 1 tower. He just doesn't want to risk his life. He'd rather hit creeps, and you can appreciate that when you are playing Luna. DB, he's trying to do the exact same thing on the mag, and he has got that very early blink timing up. Go for the Echo Saber up next, I'm sure. You certainly want to try and use that RP ASAP if you do go for this early blink timing. It can be a bit counterintuitive if you're not able to find a couple kills here with this blink. If you can't, you would rather just pick up the Echo Saber. For now, he's not going to find anything. Keep the game up. Mamang Daya would do the exact same, just doesn't want to lose his own net worth here towards Carl on that TA. And Mamang Daya, credit to him, he is still top of the net worth board regardless of being against the Luna TA. So regardless of that death that happened up at top lane, he's still having a great old time. It's just whether it's going to transition into meaning more kills in a game for AG.
Yeah, he's trying to build up on the Husker, going for the BKB next. He has felt squishy once he's caught out. With the BKB, he should be able to armlet toggle through the control. That's going to help him, again, boost his survivability. The Halberd, I think, is the bigger item to look out for. Once you have the disarm to control up either Savage or Coral, and more than likely just control Carl, the farm they've investment into the TA, it's not going to show up for a few seconds. There is a smoke play, though, from AG.
T1.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Spot out Whitemon, though, ignore him completely. They want Savage, and they barely miss out on him, too. They were 1 second away from running into this Luna. They're going to run up now, but the smoke's going to be broken. DB doesn't have the blink up yet. He can still maybe get it off, but the Eclipse is there now. He'll still get the RP. There will be the Skywrath ulti, but Savage is going to survive, and DB, the one to die, is now Carl. He'll find a double kill out. He tanks the Mystic Flare with 23 Savage. He makes sure they can't burst him down, and he even gets a double kill. What a TA player.
Interesting.
That's a massive loss for Army Geniuses. They aren't farming up on a mag, and this is what we talk about. If he is going around with his team to find those kills, you're falling behind in farm. And he is starting to lag behind once more compared to Savage's farm, compared to Carl's farm. A Husker with the same amount of farm, it can be impactful. It's just down to a question of who's it not.
Boat, it's going to keep this Wyvern alive. DB's going to move in, however, and they do get the kill, but now the X is there on DB. They might be able to turn for more. Carl's rushing forward. He seems to want UK instead, and they're going to get him. DB still in danger as well. They just enchant him up, and he's gone. T1, they're not done yet. Looking for another X attempt, but they won't have the vision. But every single fight that goes by, T1 continues to find the positive trade.
Yeah, and they go right into the Roshan. Same timing for the lineup. Desolator up, just go for Roshan. Easy take. Got the Aegis up on Carl. 4K lead at 15 minutes isn't that one-sided. Army Geniuses still has the tools to play. I am curious as to when Mamangdaya decides to join. Maybe after the BKB. Let's see again if the impact of the Husker is going to turn things around. As T1, well, Carl's number 1 in net worth now. And the Desolator just makes him hit like a truck. Once he has his blink up, he's just going to be able to jump in and set up for the team.
X out, DB, Torrent is going to be there. They have found the Magnus. Can they burst him down in time? Oh, you bet your ass they can. My goodness, the amount of damage this TA hero does, it's just too much. It's too damn high.
Yeah, it's so strong. There was a time when people were saying TA was weak as well. I remember that.
Get out of
You'd rarely see TA. No, I remember like last year, maybe even just 6 months ago, no one really liked the TA. And then suddenly TA just bounced back in. Tier 2 faults, high ground open, Mamangdaya?
Well, he's a Husker, John. He's going to try. Once the attack is there, he'll try to fight back. He'll armor toggle. Carl, no, he gets bursted. RP's out, DB. It's a nice one, but they got the curse. He can't get the damage off. And Carl is going to survive. He does finally drop, but it's just the Aegis. This craft is not exactly working out the way of AG, John. They'll get a jewel out. I don't know if it's going to be the greatest idea, but with the Mystic Flare, it's still not going to be enough. They will finally get the kill, though, as UK, with the stroke of fate, will get it done. Army Geniuses, they will hold high ground. But you are relying on this Mag Husker to carry you through. And thus far, although they are getting the farm, it's not translating to successful team fights. At least for Army Geniuses.
I think it's down to how the Husker is now. Like, even if you're low on HP, you don't actually get any more durable. Not like before. Like, you don't have magic resist on hand tied to that passive anymore. You just get more regen still and attack speed. And that's the reason why Mamangdaya really desperately needs the BKB. So he's protected from some sorts of damage. He can just try to out-heal the damage in physical coming out from T1. I don't think he can. I think Carl and Savage just hit way too hard with the simple items they have on hand. And once you start getting into the Crystallis build up for Savage or the Crystallis up for Carl as well down the line, I don't know about the Husker. It just feels such a weird choice, although.
Cuckoo, he's been caught with the skewer. I just don't think it's going to be enough, but it's going to fly out. He's a tanky target, and DB, this is your pos 1. This is your position 1 Husker. And he's just melting to Carl. It's not even a competition right now for Carl.
Is under attack.
No.
It's not.
Yeah, it's just not lining up. They even have the disarm up now on Cuckoo, so even if our Husker shows up, if he doesn't pop the BKB first, he gets Heaven Halberds up, he won't do damage. And then your Husker's just standing in front, kind of awkwardly staring at everyone. And then physical damage still melts him. So, a lot of issues here to cover for AG. The biggest strength right now is the high ground defense. The RPs are what they're rolling on, but we already saw the counterplay coming out from Zephyr. If you don't catch the Winter Wyvern, the curse will just ruin that initiation as well.
23 Savage will be targeted. RP's there, but Cold Embrace. Zephyr, you can't kill him when the Wyvern's around. They didn't see Zephyr. He was hiding in the tree line. And so now RP's down for nothing. Mamangdaya is going to show up. They'll try to go after Zephyr, but he has the Cold Embrace. So now the Husker is going to hit his teammate. DB, he's going to survive. Eclipse is there as well. Mamangdaya really going for a dive in. They get the jewel off. Is it going to be enough though? The boat's going to fly in with the Cold Embrace. They save the day. Savage, he might die in the end, but at what cost? Here comes Carl, the real +1. They are just going to wipe the side of Army Geniuses. Mamangdaya, he's going to try. Armor talk to your heart's content, sir. It doesn't matter when you're versing Templar Assassin. It just doesn't matter.
It's just not enough. And AG, again, the staggered initiation doesn't pay off. They lose a lot of heroes. They lose RP. I think that's a bigger loss than any death. So defense comes in. They're not going to have RP for a minute. This is their biggest spell. This is their big defense play. And you're going to have to find another way to stall out this game some more. Maybe you get a good duel in the background. You can kind of get that done. TV tipping a UK for whatever reason there. Tier 2 just gonna fall.
So see,
and
pub, John.
Yeah, it's just a pub.
Yep. Your pulse on Magnus is 2 and 6. Tip the support ASAP. You've got to shift the blame immediately.
Definitely. 12k lead for T1, 6-18 at 20 minutes in. I don't know what else to say. This is just looking fairly one-sided going the way of T1. And if they get a good RP, you can still turn. But how do you get a good RP against a Winter Wyvern?
That's the problem, right? Like, if you don't get Zephyr in that RP, he's always going to be able to turn it. Which is what we've seen over and over again. That Wyvern has to die before you can actually take a team fight for Army Geniuses, because he just counters everything. You just can't fight into him. Zephyr's been very good, though. He's always just in position to be able to counter, but never within vision of Army Geniuses so they can make the jump in. They're very good at keeping him hidden. And all it takes is a Glimmer Cape, apparently, for Zephyr. And it only gets worse soon as well, because he's working towards a Blink Dagger. So soon, he won't even need to be nearby. He'll be able to really keep a massive distance between him and the team. And that way, he just never gets caught. It feels like it is probably going to be Wami's job to be able to jump the Wyvern in the backside, but it has proven to be very difficult this game.
Yeah. It's just that Zephyr understands how important he is to T1's team fights, to the way they win. And just been very patient on that Winter Wyvern. Just always out of sight, out of mind, and just forget. And you commit into the target, and then you just suddenly don't have that burst, you don't have the initiation you want on AG's and T1. They will smoke up. They're gonna maybe look for a pick off. The side of AG have smoked up top with Wami and LYM though.
They have. They might fight Carl. It's a very nice pick, and Mystic Flare, they could certainly burst him down. Carl, he's not expecting it. They jump in, but no, the reactions. Wami, Runcer. He will TP out. Very, very quick reactions there, and even Cuckoo almost finding the torrent onto the unsuspecting LYM, but he has made it out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, UK, it's the battle of the supports right now. The 23 Savage is going to interrupt. Wymon will still take the kill, though. It just seems like no matter what they try, nothing's working. They're trying Zephyr now. He's just manning up by himself onto Wami. That's the target you need to kill, by the way, for that team fight. They just don't feel confident. Now the X-Torrent's there from Cuckoo. Tidal Wave going to force out the press of the attack. Having the shards there on the LC going to make it so he does not get pulled back with the Kunkka. But if you're T1, I mean, you're waiting for that next Roshan, and it's a decent 30 seconds.
Yeah, fairly quick here. For the side of T1, they should be able to secure it quite fast. AG, this could be their big moment. If they manage to get a good RP in the pit, but they're going to smoke early. So if they want to not have to rely on the Roche, we'll see if they find that opening. They still need to catch Zephyr.
Zephyr is pretty far forward. Problem is he's on the high ground and there's still no vision. I suppose there is one observer what's scouting him out. Can they break the gap? DB, Zephyr is right next to them. They get the silence off. However, among Dyer, he's dived in by himself. They're going to turn around now. Who are they aiming? They got Carl. They at least get the TA down. One one's killed off by YM. Now the RP's there with the skewer. It's not going to reach on Savage. They might be able to turn, and it looks like they will. Here comes the Eclipse. Mamang Dyer, his BKB's worn off. They tipped Carl, and there you go. There's the tip back from Carl. He was waiting for it. I didn't see how Carl died. I missed that one, John. They still win the team fight, though. And they'll go right for the Roshan.
Yep. No RP once again. It's going to be down for a minute and a half to the defense. I don't know how you pull it off here on AG's side. T1. It's a bit of a slower process without the TA on a Roshan, but they're still going to find it in the end. I was keen to see a while ago Savage was queuing up Ags. He decides to not finish the Aghanims instead. He will have a free Ag Shard So that's still amazing for the Luna, and I believe he has his Crystallis that died in the Courier. Unfortunate for him, he doesn't have that little bit more damage coming out with the crit stick. You still have a ton of damage flying through though, and AG backs against the wall. They still have their high ground fairly intact. But with Carl back up, with the damage output, with the Aegis Cheese, without RP, I just don't know how you take these fights. Again, you have to jump the back line with Wami somehow. And the ideal target is still Zephyr. It's just that Zephyr is nearly impossible to find.
Yeah. I mean, they had vision last team fight, but they just didn't know who to aim. It seems like they were very happy about Carl dying, but in fact, they're looking for him again here. Wami and OYM are on the hunt. They are in apparently the same position, the right position. Carl, Courier goes down, but that's going to reveal their position now. Is he using the Psyblades hit the LC to give even more information to Carl? And now, this top lane going to be forced in by T1 with a 17k net worth lead. It's not going to be too hard for them to get through this. And this is without that TA. However, a nice skewer back, but a quick exit from Kuku. Now they want to fight. His arms are there. They cannot attack Mystic Flare around with the Cold Embrace. They do get the Aegis. They've got the first life. Torrent, Mamang Daya, he's been caught. There's your X out into the boat. They want the Husker down. Press the attack though. It's going to save him from the X back. Kuku, going to be a little bit careful there with those silences out. DB, he does have the RP, a nice skewer back, has found the Kunkka. Meanwhile, Zephyr was scouted up by the Husker with the Cold Breaks there again. Carl, he's in as well. They get it in his arms there. Meanwhile, the RP, it does land on two, and they will clean them up. Army geniuses. They finally find a good team fight. Whitemon, he'll die as well. It'll be a 4-0, or rather a 4-1. Carl, he did manage to get out. The one problem it seemed for T1 that fight is they did find Zephyr.
Yeah, you got to protect Zephyr, and that's the big one. Just misstep there, you don't get the Winter's Curse off, it falls apart. Very good patience from Army Geniuses to actually execute the fight and hold on. That's a good influx of gold and EXP, much needed influx of gold and EXP, and they can just kind of wait for RP to be back up. As long as they hold high ground with that big spell and they don't get cursed up, they have a lot of opportunities. T1, it looked like they were kind of handling the fight well. You know, they kind of canceled back the skewer with the X. They were getting good damage off, and just diving a bit too far forward towards the end. And AG is still a team that can punish. You still have to respect the RP. That's why you after the Winter Wyvern, and just need to kind of watch your spacing there on Zephyr. AG, they're still lagging behind by 14k. They can't really take any objectives off the back of that defense. They will take their outpost back, so some jungle control has returned, and they are still going to have to build up more farm, as you are still lacking a lot of damage output on DB. He's just not up there in farm at all. Lagging behind Kuku, behind Mamang Daya. The Husker is very close to just finishing up the AC though. I say very close, at least a few spots away from it. And they do have the Ags up here on UK. So he's got that Dark Portrait, he can clone the Luna, and we know how menacing Dark Portrait can be on a farmed hero. The Luna or the TA could kind of work against T1 now.
Certainly may. AG proving that they're not out of this game yet. Definitely very good news for them. T1 grouping up. They've got an MKB on Carl, so the damage output has increased, and the evasion not going to be as big of a problem. And now they've got the Torrent Storm to boot. So Kuku, even more of a menace. As they run right in. The Army Genius smoke on smoke can be popped immediately. They do have the high ground in AG, but they've got the vision there from T1. They're going to jump in, and Mamang Daya, he's just gone. He just melted. Yeah, 1 second he was there, the other he was just dead. UK, Torrent's there, it connects. He's got nowhere to go. DB, he's looking for an RP, but he's got no teammates left. And Carl, he keeps tipping Wobby. He's looking around the backside. He's going to get a courier. That is going to be the Demon Edge, but now the curse is out. Perhaps some more tips are in order here for Wami. He'll try for the TP. He's going to get taken out. Cuckoo, he decides he's going to tip Mamang Daya. Very nice. Horn toss, skewer, but cold embrace is there. Mystic flare, not going to do enough. They're going to RP for this. He had the cheese. Eclipse going to fly through DB. He's going to come right back. That'll make it a full team wipe. Jonathan?
Yeah. P1. They're just slowly chipping away at AG. AG, top rack's gone. Mid to follow. They could go mega creeps here on T1. No RP on Magnus. They're relying solely on Horn Toss and Skewer back. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get Whitemon. He's pretty hard to kill, let alone with the cold embrace. And now DB's caught out. Tidal Wave gonna pull him back. He's really got nowhere to go. Soulbind, it's gonna do something, but not enough. And they get a double Horn Toss. Mamang Daya, what do you do? There's too much control. He can't armor toggle through all these torrents. A quick duel out. He might get the Winter Wyvern, or maybe not, as they'll lose the duel and the GG's been called. They've had it. Army geniuses could not pull off one game today, unfortunately. That'll mean T1. They do get away with a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, T1 plays spectacularly well. This is T1 at their finest form that we expect.
There is little hope for Radiant's middle tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What can I say? Nature loves me.
That should help.
happened?
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Illusion.
tower dominating. Someone lays blame. Dire's middle tower is under attack. So heavy. There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
What's just happened?
Bounty.
Dire structures are fortified.
Да, это жестко.
I can't believe what we're seeing! What just happened? What we're seeing? What just happened?
Mega kill! Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant have fortified their structures against attack. Radiant's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. On the hunt for Radiant.
Illusion.
Знаешь, мне такое ощущение, что я один из самых адекватных людей.
I was meant to have this.
Dire's turn to pick. Ten seconds remain. 5 seconds. Radiant's turn to pick.
Dusk.
Dire's turn to pick. Seconds. 5 seconds.
Yeah, there's still the potential to flex the TA safe lane for Jackie. That is a possibility for Motivate Trust. We don't see Jackie play that hero on the safe lane all too often, though, so we'll have to see if that is the way they're going to lean here. Motivate Trust with a Phoenix. You pointed out the healing. The team fight's good. You don't have the setup for it on the off lane yet. We'll have to see what hero Masaros gets to enable the presence of that egg down the line and to protect it. Galaxy Racer, they do pick up the Death Prophet. So that could be their mid, that could be their off lane here for Mizu. They've got a lot of flexibility in kind of handling that. If it is a Death Prophet mid, we have seen that against TA. And we have seen DP kind of hold that lane just fine. You still clear out creep waves, you still sustain yourself with Spirit Siphon, and you just keep farming. You can farm the small camp as well relatively quickly. And you hit level 6 timing, that's when you just look for a push. So you can still run it mid against Fearless's TA if that does come out. You can hold on, just have Mizu play it. Very open here for GXR. Motivate Trust should be expecting the off lane unless they really want something specific for Jackie before the bans come in. No option for Timbersaw. There is still the Mars in the pool if they want to play with Phoenix Mars. That is a very strong combination for Motivate Trust, and that is one way to set up the team fights, one way to play fast here. We have seen Mars versus Luna. The lane, last time we saw it, it felt a bit slower. Like Luna still managed to find farm last time around. So we'll see if that's the option. No, they actually go Sand King. All right. The one time I don't mention Sand King, it comes true. Fine.
seconds. 5 seconds. 'Dire's turn to ban. It is Radiant's ban. Seconds remain. 5 seconds remain.
Yeah, I think if they do run the safe lane TA again, GXR can still flex a DP, so it's not that big of a worry. You can still track the TA with the Death Prophet matchup if you feel confident in that. Means you can run it off lane. You can take something else mid to match up against Fearless, and Motivate Trust are also banning pseudo mids. They take out the Bat Rider to take out Void Spirit. Storm gone now as well for Fearless, so it definitely looks like they expect that flex for Jackie. We'll see. If they do pick a different Jackie hero, the two you pointed out are great. There's the option for Raid King if they want this comfort hero for Jackie. He does love his Raid King. It can be greedy with the TA and Sand King, so it's not quite the fast core we're looking for, but you can itemize differently. You don't need to go for the Radiance. You could just go for Armlet Blink, maybe an Echo Saber and SNY just to have that presence, and you can get running from there. So some options still left for Motivate Trust. We just have to see if they want to flex. Issue with the flex here is that they don't have last pick, so GXR will be able to adjust accordingly.
Dire must choose.
Points away.
Mid Sand King? Yeah.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, I feel like I prefer Masteros on the Pango. He's very comfy on the hero. He knows the timings he wants to hit. It's very good to lane against Luna. Just get the disarm spam once you have the levels up with a swash, and then Luna suddenly slows down in farm timing. So you can get that done. You don't need the Sand King off because you don't have, say, the arrow combination. You do have perhaps a Lion Sand King lane with Earth Spike and the Burrow Strike, but doesn't feel as scary, not with the not without the burst damage of, say, the Barana. So I think the Pangolier should still work fine with a Phoenix or a Lion to support it, and Sand King mid, perhaps. I mean, let me try to think of something wacky. Pangolier 1. No, it sounds terrible. I mean, you could try the Diffusal build or the Maelstrom build and go that route, but it just doesn't feel great in GXR. Into the Tiny. So we'll figure out who's flexing what relatively soon. Yeah, Mizu, Death Prophet, Alacrity Tiny. Now Motivate Trust. You gotta show your hand here. What do you want? TA mid? Pango mid? Sand King mid? Yes!
Ten seconds remain.
I can quickly check and looking through. I don't think it has. Fnatic were the ones running the TA a couple times. Did AG pick it in their second game against Fnatic? They might have. No, alright, then it's pretty much, yeah, unbeaten. It's just been winning everything. And the one thing that Motivate Trust has to worry about is that In Your Dream is on Luna. That's a comfort pick for him. Paulson's on the AA. They love that combination. They've got the burst on hand. They've got ways to clear out refraction with a Tiny, so you do block the damage from that burst. But then you're exposed to the TA after that initiation from Alacrity. and then Luna can just clean up. The stuns can come in from Joe Cam and Paulson. We'll have to see if the execution lines up. For Motivate Trust, it's all about execution. They have to hit their timings. They have to make the right choices. They have to shut down the jungle of In Your Dream. They can't allow that Luna to farm up. In Your Dream, when he gets a running start, he will really repay the investment tenfold.
Get out, the TA is 4-0. So just one of those heroes that just doesn't like going late into the game. It just likes finishing it within the 30-minute mark. By the way, while we're talking about TA, John. Oh, hold on a minute. Mizu's #1 in Set Zero's heart, apparently. Very nice. Mitsubishi Trident. Mitsubishi, yes. It's a car. If it's shout out to Anonym. I don't know how to pronounce that part, Jackie. But I'm sure...
I don't know what he's saying anymore. You know how it is with Jackie. There was one time in lobby, I was talking with Jackie, just suddenly piped in and said, "John, you like Bahatsa?" I'm like, I don't even know that much. I just know a little from my time in Singapore. Not enough, Jackie. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Just 30 seconds now. What drum sounds this?
Patches about this.
Yeah.
How do they nerf TA, John? Give me a guess. Just give me a wild guess how they're going to nerf this hero.
Talent nerf, Sideblade readjustment on maybe the split mount scaling. That sounds like a pretty busted nerf if they actually do nerf the split mount, but I think the talent is going to get a change. The 100 Sideblade range at 10 is just too much right now. It's way too strong and way too early.
Mid lane, big group up. This is into a tusk with a tag team. I'm not sure about this motivate. And on a great start, Fearless, he's going to go down. Joe Cam to pick up the kill, but now they might get Alacrity, and they will, but now Set Zero's down. They'll find a double onto Joe Cam, who'll keep chasing forward. He wants a triple, but he won't have tag team for another 5 seconds. He does almost get the bounty. In fact, they might get a triple, John. He's got tag team again. TP away, Q, he'll make it out. Back to the fountain, he will have to take the long walk back to the laning phase. A bit of a mess to get this game started, but it was certainly a mess that favored GXR. Jackie gets the tip as well. Very nice.
Jackie was sitting in the meld for a long time, never got that one hit off onto Mizu, and that's the one thing with his side lane build on TA. When you go for the meld early, I've seen this before, people have run this before as well, you need to get that one hit off on the offlaner while he's coming in, and you just try to harass him out to kind of waste his regen and start farming up the creep wave onto your level 2. If you don't get that done, as you're seeing for Jackie, you don't have the range to really farm effectively against ranged cores. You're very vulnerable with level 1 meld, and it's down to Set Zero to get that zoning out. They're not going to stop Mizu from getting what he wants in his first few waves, and you do worry once that level 3 especially comes out for Mizu. With his Spirit Siphon running, you're not going to be able to trade hits with his Death Prophet as soon as that's up.
Was over in the mid lane. Alacrity going to be there, already forcing out Fearless on that mid Sand King. He's going to run back and get the bottle off his courier. A lot of damage already being dealt the way of the Sand King. Fearless not off to the greatest start. Alacrity though having a great old time, but I suppose now that you have the bottle up on Fearless, he should be much safer. Just in time as well for those water runes to spawn up, and you'll see him immediately start to push in that wave so he can go ahead and secure the water rune in peace. Mid Sand King though, do you think Fearless is going to be able to make this look as good as Yopaj does?
He's already off to a decent start in CS. He did die though, so that's a bit painful for him, but as long as he gets that stable farm, you hit your travels, blink timing, you're pretty okay. The Tiny can kind of blow you out. There's no sentry mid, so you can't spot him in the sandstorm, but you can always just toss a casual avalanche if you feel like clearing the creep wave. You will have to watch that. Oh, good toss back from Larky there.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of damage there, and there's going to be a quick sentry being placed here, just to ensure that Alacrity can keep the harassment up onto Fearless. He won't reveal it yet. He's going to hold out for a bit. Fearless does have his own sentry in preparation for this, just in case. Meanwhile, top lane looks like they are going to probably find a killer's Polison. Gets caught out of position and is going to drop it. In Your Dream might be able to trade, but the disarm was there in time. Instead, he tries to go for the courier, but another disarm out from Masaros, and they'll get a double. The disarms were just perfect from Masaros.
Yeah, that's what you call pure skill coming out there for Masaros. Totally calculated chances on those hits, and Q gets to stick around. He can just sort of passively regen, maybe look to reset on the tier 2. Looks like he will actually just go for neutral camps, maybe just go for a deny that, where just clear out what he can with his remaining mana. So very efficient when you clear out a small creep. Masaros, he's already off to a pretty decent start. In Your Dreams, farm is slowing down a bit here, and that's just kind of the story of the lane. As long as Masaros gets to abuse his swash, he should be able to hold steady. Try to build his farm up. He is lagging behind to In Your Dream, but you are slowing down In Your Dream's pace, which is, I guess, the best you can do. And when you find a kill, you generally tend to feel happy about the lane.
Oh, naturally. Looking back to the mid lane, Fearless still having a great old time in terms of CS. The laning stage is going to be super important for Motivate as well, right? Because you have a TA, you want to play fast, you want to make space for Jackie. That's all it's about here for Motivate. Trust. Yeah, the more farm and XP you can acquire early on in this mid and top lane, the better you're going to be able to kind of create that space for your safe lane TA. Jackie, he's not having the easiest lane in the world either. Still at 20 and 5 in terms of CS on Jackie, so not too bad, but he is going to have to spend a bit of time in the jungle catching up. So you definitely want to try and ensure that the other two lanes go well so you can continue that space creation. So for GXR, I suppose when you look back at In Your Dream, he's not having the greatest time either, and he's going to need the exact same thing. And just go back to the jungle, just get the farm up. They do also have a very fast-paced lineup to boot, so they can do the exact same thing as Motivate. It's just a matter of who's going to do it better, I'd say.
Yeah, it's down to the farm war of Luna versus TA. I think it ends up fairly even, but the TA power spikes a lot faster with her initial items, so that's the one thing to watch out for. If Jackie gets the Dragonlance Desolator blink a bit quicker, he's going to be ready to go. Whereas In Your Dream, you might feel like he needs an item on top of that to really get going, and he's just going to have to camp that jungle a bit more. When it comes to the space creation, and the big one to watch out for from GXR is their timing. And so far, Alacrity should have a stable ride to the
Polison is going to drop on the AA. Him again is going to be in danger. They'll bring Fearless in for the kill. Gee, that's the second time they've wiped out that top lane here on Motivate. No, I mean, In Your Dream, he's struggling with CS right now, and it only gets worse the longer he's dead. Not to mention all the XP and gold going the way of Masaros now. So this Pangolier going to have a very early level 6 timing, John. He's going to have it just about at the 6.5 minute mark. And that's going to be quite devastating. In Your Dream, he's still at level 4. That Rolling Thunder, it's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, it's going to be really hard to play into there for In Your Dream. Paulson needs to maybe just focus on building stacks up. There are a couple of stacks in that jungle, not enough. You do see Alacrity clear out some of those stacks in the triangle, so he's getting some revenge by taking some resources away. Still, our Tiny is off to a decent enough start in that mid. Still lagging behind Fearless though. The Sand King has managed to overtake in terms of net worth with all the rotations Fearless has done. The key thing now is Alacrity's blink. He's got the levels up. He's got the Avalanche maxed out, the toss is up there, value point and grow. He just needs a way to gap close for his team and nuke the enemy heroes down. Still a ways off from that blink, but you could still opt to maybe get a side lane rotation if you want to. I think they really have to start eyeing Jackie. Since they lost IYD a couple of times up top, you need to kind of ensure the same thing happens to the TA so it doesn't get that farm advantage going.
It seems like you're going to have to ask for that rotation from Alacrity there to make that happen, and might be a little bit tough for Alacrity without the blink up to be able to break the gap against the TA. It could be somewhat of a challenge without something like a haste rune up. He might have the opportunity now that Jackie's farming the jungle. Things are out, and he is actually going to be able to break the gap. Jackie's going to try and retreat. Icarus Knight there to slow down. The shards are off the mark as well. They might get set 0, but that's definitely not the target they came for. But they'll get him. Alacrity will take what he can get. Meanwhile, top lane, however, Masteros, he has got that Rolling Thunder out. Paulison is going to drop. Masteros, he needs a way out of this team fight, and he's not going to get it. Definitely not a very worthwhile trade there. For Motivate Trust is now Alacrity is going to try and find a secondary kill. Earth Spike is going to be out, however. Still, GXR should be satisfied with Masteros dying there for the sake of their AA.
Yep, it's a nice trade coming out for GXR. Good punishment for the deep dive. And that does help in your Dream bounce back. If it's level 6, he can go 2-2-2. Much easier to jungle True now for our Luna and start building up. And Alacrity's getting some good rotations out. The top TP might not pay off. If you are still finding kills on Tiny, he's only about 1,000 away from Blink.
Well, Paulison, he's already having a bit of a rough time here on this AA. They're going to try and help him out here, but Jackie is there to set up a kill in the TA now. And on the brighter side, Mizu does kill off set 0 again on the Phoenix. So both position 5s, they're struggling quite a bit. Mizu, he's going to start going for that bottom tier 1 tower now with that exorcism. But Jackie's already left the building, and now Fearless is rotated with the haste rune up. He wants to try and make sure this push never happens. They dust him up though. Fearless, he may have gone too far. A nice snowball from Joe Cam. Real quick reaction there from our Tusk. Avoiding the Burrow Strike and Mizu. Isn't they're not meant to be. They'll keep the bot tier 1 push going. Q's going to be around the line to try and slow this down, and without the exorcism, they aren't going to be able to finish it off. But I suppose at the 10-minute mark, you'll still be able to get it done. So Mizu not going to be too off the mark anyway.
And that kill on Fearless was big. He just overextends. His haste expires when he tries to run in. And that punishment is pretty darn good. Now, Fearless was #1 in that fort. Now he's starting to lag behind. The jungle is being taken by GXR. There are no forward wards. It's been taken away by the side of GXR, so no vision to see these camps being cleared out. And this is the point where In Your Dream can really start to build up. He's got a 300 gold lead over Jackie, and it is a little bit easier for him to get the glaives bouncing around consistently. So the farm pace is there. Dragonlance is up now for IYD. Jackie, Dragonlance is also going to be up, so not too far apart on these cores. It's just down to how early do you want to commit with him. And I think with the Luna, you could maybe play around with the Eclipse when it's up. So if need be, In Your Dream can still contribute to the fights. But for Jackie, he's definitely just going to have to take the backseat for a bit longer. Wait for the Deso, maybe wait for the Blink and DKB as well.
Yeah. Paulson, he's going to be around to try and stop that tier 1 top tower being pushed in, but there's not much he can do. In fact, Masteros is going to go for the dive. Rolling Thunder, probably not going to make it in time. He gave it a crack. Paulson just going to get out in the nick of time. I'll still get the tier 1 tower anyway. Because GXR do the exact same thing at the bot lane, so just an even trade. And I suppose on the brighter side, Mizu, he does manage to save the exorcism, so he might be able to set up for a mid-tier 1 tower push a little bit later on. He's going to have it off cooldown. So do you get a little bit paranoid about the fact that Jackie's not being addressed? Like, I know In Your Dream's farming well, but the Luna does take longer to be online than, say, the TA.
Top tower
Yeah,
is under attack.
it is a bit worrying. I think the fact that Jackie is still kind of keeping up here can be pretty scary. Once the Deso is up, we've seen that be the turning point for the TA. And the fact that Motivate Trust still managed to get the gold injected onto Fearless as well. He's got his Blink. He's working towards the BKB. So they're just completely negating the burst damage that can come out from Alacrity, and we're seeing Motivate Trust. Well, they've got Egg, got smoked up here. They can force the big engagement, and it's their time to really hunt down, perhaps try to gun down In Your Dream. Issue is the map is blind. There are just no forward wards here from Motivate Trust, so they're just kind of camping runes.
That they are. They're going to try anyway. They're going to loop through the Dire jungle into the mid lane, I think, and they want to try and set up for that mid-tier 1 tower. If they can get a good team fight to go their way, though. However, GXR, they're going to group up as well. They still have that exorcism. Scan is out. They know exactly where Motivate are. Just a matter of how you get there, and they are going to pop the smoke and try to force the fight. Alacrity's got that blink up as well on the Tiny. Wants to try and make something happen. They're going to bait with that illusion rune. He's gonna go for it. Both teams trying to do the same thing. Ice Blast is there. It's gonna be way off the mark though. Alacrity, he's gonna find nobody. Now Q's there with an Earth Spike. They get the egg off as well. Burrow Strike off the mark. Everyone's missing everything. Roll Thunder. It is at least gonna connect on the backside. They do find the AA and the Tiny is now the Snowball. He's gonna rush right through. Joe Cam, he'll go into the epicenter of Fearless. It's only one down so far, but they'll get another. They find Paulison. That'll be a 2-for-0 the way of Motivate. And it just felt like every spell missed from either side. But in the end, Motivate, I guess they made less mistakes. They do end up winning out the team fight.
Blessings upon a
They
loyal
only find 2
warrior.
supports for that entire rotation, dropping the episode, dropping the egg. If GXR wants to, they could look to force the fight. Like, they could go for the push. They know the big team fight spells are down. That could lead to the tier 1 just being committed to here by mid, but I think GXR might just take a step back, keep the farm game up. They have bought the space out for In Your Dream. He's got the triangle under his command. He's just left alone and being efficient. And there's that smoke play, GXR. There are no counter spells from Motivate. It's not going to be a good team fight for them.
Certainly not. Set 0, he has broken the smoke. Still, they are going to try and go into the mid. Ice Blast again is way off the mark. Rolling Thunder, now the Burrow Strike's there. They found a great Burrow Strike onto 2, and they will go right in onto Alacrity. Snowball trying to get out. There is no way out for Joe Cam, however. GXR, they're looking a little bit messy today. It's another Burrow Strike. It's going to find Mizu on the profit. They burst it down. You bet your Nelly they can. The Melt Strike going to be more than enough from Jackie.
Fortified their structures against
T1 Tower now definitely set to fall. There's no real way for GXR to try and defend this. They're just going to go back to the drawing board and try to escalate their farm up on In Your Dream.
Dire's middle tower.
Jackie has now taken over. He's very close to that Desolator as well, and that's going to be a very scary point now for GXR.
Yeah, GXR, execution just falls flat. They don't get the blink initiation they want. They get caught in the middle, and
Ice Blast, they get off the mark. What? Sunray's gonna be there. Fearless, he's still going. He's alive. He might even get Alacrity before he goes down, and he does. He's gonna try and run now, but he does finally drop. Paulison, he will go down to boot. Trap is there on In Your Dream, but Mizu, he's popped the ulti. They're gonna try and go after Jackie on that TA, and it looks like he is a sitting duck. Finally, a team fight does go the way. A team fight does go the way of GXR, but man, oh man, these Ice Blasts, they're just always off.
Tower is under attack.
yeah, I think it feels like they try to lead in with the Ice Blast. They need to have it as the follow-up. In Your Dream, he is farming up top. Master is keeping check. He does have a roll, but doesn't have backup. And that fight does stall out Motivate Trust's Roshan timing. I think if they manage to win that fight, that would be the completed Desolator up on Jackie. And we know that Deso timing is just basically Roshan time for whatever team has the TA. So they're not going to be able to take that yet. Very even game, 14-10, 15 minutes in. Less than 1k lead still standing for Motivate Trust. GXR starting to open up though.
Well, this time they got the Ice Blast Q. It does connect, however, you might lose Joe Cam, and Q's going to be alright. He will survive. You're at that point now where you're not really going to be able to just completely burst somebody with the Tusk AA anymore. Like, you're 15 and a half minutes in.
Blessings.
Q's not really that soft as a support line at this point. GXR just going to have to readjust.
Yeah, I think the key thing for GXR is that they're enabling In Your Dreams farm. So he's still ahead of Jackie because Jackie died, but the Deso is up, TA into the Roche pit, and they have a lot of wards here for Motivate Trust to find the rotations back in, but there are also wards from GXR to figure out what Roche is happening.
Yeah, Ice Blast does connect. That'll slow things down here for Motivate. Roshan extremely low at the moment. They aren't going to commit all the way yet, though. Hold out.
Radiant should look to their middle.
They might have to try and sneak their way back in, but before that, they'll go for a fight. They found Alacrity. That's a great target to get started on. That's your mid-tiny to drop. No epicenter required either, as Masaros, he does find Joe Cam on the back line, but they don't need him. They will just go back for the Roshan now, knowing that mid-tiny's down. Alacrity, I mean, he can buy back. Motivate? No, they're not going into the Roshan. They're going to take it easy. No, they will. They definitely will.
In a good spot here. Especially with sets here. He's got the egg. If he pops it up in this area.
They're going. First time there, and nice egg is going to be dropped. And now the burrow MP set up from Fearless. Paulson's down. Joe Camp, he'll go down. Mizu, he's going to get Jackie on the TA. Maybe they can still fight this Roshan. In Your Dream comes in. They kill off Fearless, and now they rush for the Roshan pit. The Eclipse will take care of it. They'll get the Aegis down. Mizu, Spike is there. They'll get the Death Prophet. Dude is probably going to die for this. In Your Dream, just with the Eclipse alone, was able to finish off the Roshan. And now GXR back in the driver's seat with a 2k net worth lead. Motivate Trust, they did really want that Roshan. So you kind of need the Aegis when you're playing this TA. It's one of the big advantages of this hero. It's almost like an Ursa. They're not going to get it. GXR, they take it away, and it's going to buy them even more time now to secure more farm on In Your Dream. And you know, I know we've been talking a lot about how great TA is today, John, but it's still Luna. In the late game, it's still going to be a big problem.
And In Your Dream has a very clear net worth advantage now. 3k above Jackie. The TA missing out on Roshan, it just feels painful. You have the BKB up now on In Your Dream, so he's protected from the control coming out on Motivate. It's just strange. Motivate had the good positioning. They kind of dropped the egg early without figuring out where IYD was. I think that's the big factor. The egg drops, the big cores weren't caught out by it. They managed to reposition themselves outside, and then the follow-up damage was just there after the egg ended. So the execution once more on Motivate, maybe not quite lining up the way they'd wanted to. GXR, they break the game a bit more open. 2k lead their way. Blink up on Jocam. So the saving place with Snowball is there, or the more aggressive Blink punches are up, and GXR now can kind of tackle these fights from a lot of different angles. You have to watch for just how much control Jocam can do here. Like, if you don't lock in the Tusk, you can just Snowball save any core that's caught out, and that could stall the fight long enough for bigger reinforcements to come in.
Scary times for Motivate. Set 0. Run into In Your Dream and Paulson, but he's going to be okay to Icarus dive out. Immediate Sunray TP, the Ice Blast though? Oh, it's not going to get the vision. Had they gotten the vision, you could have got a Lucent Beam to cancel the TP, but Ice Blast was just a tad off.
Yeah, it's not a big kill to lose out on. I don't think In Your Dream minds too much as long as he gets to shove out the waves. Maybe line up for a tier 2 to shove in. And they are kind of getting that done. That bot tier 2 is still fairly healthy, but the moment the Luna can start to commit just to getting the hits off, it's not going to be healthy for long. And Set 0 is still in the area to defend. He needs the rest of the team here if they do want to hold off this push.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 tower going to be glyphed up early. Motivate, they're going to try and force the top tier 2 tower. It really feels tough now for Motivate. Like, they could still easily pull it back, I suppose, but it's just very scary going into that late game Luna now. Without the Aegis up as well. You can still play for the second Roshan, and that's what Motivate are going to have to do now. Just GXR are going to be able to get so much out of the map with this Aegis of their own. They really shouldn't be able to get away with this. Especially considering how hard of a lane In Your Dream had against Masaros. And now top lane, Alacrity, gonna throw out the Avalanche, not gonna opt to blink in. He won't go too far without his team. They already found the bottom tier 2 tower, and they're gonna protect the top tier 2. And this is something Motivate should probably be doing with the TA, but it's just not happening. Back to smoke up now. They're gonna keep trying for more. It is gonna be broken by Q. So smoke may lead to nothing. Joe Cam or his punches off the mark. Q gets the Hex off. Masaros trying to get the roll going. However, the Sars is there with a nice toss back. Alacrity, a very nice toss back into Mizu for the silence. They find something they really shouldn't have. That smoke broke ages ago.
Top tower
Yeah,
is no more.
just get some good pickings there for GXR. They find the top tier 1. They're going to go for the top tier 2. That's only going to leave one outer tower left for Motivate. They're playing in bot jungle while they can. They're trying to get some control back. There are still some very deep wards here from GXR, but they're trying to keep up and farm. Jackie, BKB is only the recipe away, and that's about 150 gold off. So once that's up, maybe the TA can do more in the middle of the fights. It's going to have to be impactful as they are losing a lot of ground, and GXR is just allowed to roam around. Tier 2 top eventually falls. Aegis, they've got not too much time left, maybe 10 seconds left in that Aegis here, but they can still line up for these fights. They're just very strong here.
Set 0 does get the Icarus dive away.
I can't believe what we're seeing! What just happened?
Fearless is trying to hide in the sandstorm, will eventually blink out, but it's really just desperate times now. Jackie, he gets a BKB, but it just doesn't mean as much anymore, because you're not dominating the map. In Your Dream's got his own BKB, he's working towards his Daedalus build-up, already has the shards up. I guess it's all about the second Roshan now for both teams, but especially Motivate. Like, if that second Roshan goes the way of GXR, you're in dire straits as Motivate Trust.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose that one. It'll open up the high ground. The Ag Shard could just fly out onto, say, or Tiny, as Alacrity hasn't opted for it, so free Ag Shard for Alacrity means he can just transition to the right-click build, and that's where things get scary. You've got very big cores that are scaling on GXR. They will smoke up. They are taking point with Mizu, and if they manage to catch out one of those big heroes on Motivate Trust, say Jackie or Fearless, the high ground is going to be very easy to follow up on.
GXR, Jackie would be an amazing kill right here. They break the smoke. Jackie's gonna see him, but he goes for the kill. BKB off though. He's gonna try and fight back. Alacrity. It's gonna back out. Glimmer Cape gonna be good as the Warrior's Punch comes in. Jackie is still trying. Finger is there. They got Alacrity down. In Your Dream now with the Eclipse gonna rush forward. Go after the egg. Can he make it in time though? It doesn't look like it. He'll get stunned up, and now the epicenter burrows straight with the snowball. Joe Camp, he'll buy a bit of time. Back into the Phoenix with the Earth Spike. Is there from Q, and it will buy even more time now. Oh, the team fight. It looked terrible for Motivate to start, but they make it work.
Oh man, that was a bad call to go for the egg. It was only In Your Dream hitting that, and he just gets caught out. His BKB does nothing. He was completely ignored until the egg popped, and GXR just fell apart. So suddenly, Motivate Trust, they've got the lead again. 1K their way. They're trying to shove in as many waves as they can. They don't have Jackie, unfortunately, so they can't quite take the objectives. They have bought themselves some time. They managed to put a dent in GXR's game plan and stall out for the next Roshan. Masaros, he's got the Basher up. Basher Maelstrom, his swashbuckle is very impactful in the middle of these fights. Gives him a really good way to still get control off through the BKBs. That's something GXR will have to watch out for. And GXR, I mean, their ages expired as they were taking that. Right? Like, they only had 10 seconds the last I checked. They group up for the smoke. They take a massive risk, and they just got their smoke broken in the wrong spot. I mean, they kill off the one big hero, but they lose everyone else. Not a very good trade-off for GXR. Motivate, anything else they can build up in the downtime? Well, they're going to have a blink on Jackie soon enough. And that does mean the TA should be able to bail out of those tough spots sooner rather than later. Fearless, he's got his own BKB running. They managed to use that last team fight down to 8 seconds. Going for the Heaven's Halberd. So that is a way to on the Luna. If you manage to disarm her, or the Tiny, eventually when the Alacrity does go for right click, it takes away all that investment. And that's the point where you start to worry about GXR. They need to group up a bit more, or at least space themselves out better, be coordinated in the targets they jump. In Your Dream, if he just backed off from the egg instead, he might have been able to do more.
Absolutely. It's one of those things, right? You just needed one more person to hit the egg, and In Your Dream, he committed. The rest of the team, they just could not. Joe Cam, he tried his best to save the day, but proved to be enough. So have to go back to the drawing board. You don't want to really throw this game back the way of Motivate. Like, you had such a decent lead going. Daedalus is up down In Your Dream, but the damage doesn't really feel like the issue. It's the execution here from GXR. they can clean it up a little bit. Be enough to take down Motivate as the game does proceed. So you're at the point now where Jackie's probably going to start working towards his own Daedalus build-up. And then that's when things can get very scary, is now set 0. Pop the Aeon Disc. No amount to much, but you might be forced to smoke up now as GXR, and they will. And they can burst down the Phoenix very, very quickly with that Aeon Disc. Need Alacrity to be able to jump in with the Ice Blast there from Polison. Jackie, he's going to show up in that mid lane. Not quite the target you can really burst down. He'll probably try and just leave him be. Now a counter smoke is there from Motivate. Things are coming out. They seem to know that GXR is on the other side of that mid lane. Roshan's up as well, so winner of this team fight has first dibs on that Rosh. Jackie's gonna spot it out. They wait out the shards. They might be able to sneak this, and they're gonna try to make it happen. They're going to try and sneak it as the shards wore out, but the pings are there. I think the swashbuckle made it very obvious that they're in the pit, but that Roshan is dropping so darn low. They need to jump in right now. Joe Kami's off the mark with the blink, but Alacrity's in. He has got the Aegis as well. He snatches it away from the grasp of Jackie, but it's going to cost his life. At least the first one. Meanwhile, the back line's fearless, but just the Burrow strikes out. They are just amazing here. He just stuns up everybody and holds them back. They jump in. Alacrity, he's been caught out a second time. It's going to be another team wipe just about. You took the Aegis away from Jackie, but what does it matter if you lost so many teammates? I believe it was off the back of Fearless, and you did also have the Lion there just throwing up Burrow Strikes and Earth Spikes.
Yeah, and the stun combination coming out from Motivate Trust is very strong. Very well-timed egg as well from Set 0. He just immediately popped it the moment he knew the Tiny was committing, and it just made it very awkward in the pit. Jackie only got the cheese, so they lost out in the Ag Shard as well. That was passed on to GXR, and
won't jump in. Jackie, he doesn't have an Aegis, don't forget, so they lock him down. He might just be gone. He didn't have BKB in front of the 5. Oh, now that top lane of Barracks. Not going to go down yet. Matzeroth, no, an FB center. Burrow Strike, Fearless. He may have just saved the day for the team. Mizu going to keep going with the Spirit Siphon. He will get Set 0, but he's still going to drop. Still a 2-for-3 trade, and they can't go back for the top lane of Barracks. They'll go for the outpost here on Motivate. But GXR, they're going to have time for In Your Dream to respawn up, get back to the farm game. This game is nowhere near over.
yeah,
Double damage!
the fear coming out from Mizu really gave them that control. He was the one that got the Ag Shard. So the Spirit Siphon fear is there, additional charge as well. You can't just kind of stand and trade without committing your BKB now. When that DP manages to jump you, you have to be very cautious about that additional control coming out. I don't think Motivate Trust mind too much. Like, the high ground would have helped them out. I think the safer bet would have been a tier 2 mid. They really wanted to start to take more control on the map, so they took a bit of a risk going all the way in, not respecting the fairly short response on GXR, and they just got punished for being a bit too far forward there on Jackie. They're still in a good spot here. Net worth gap between Jackie and In Your Dream basically non-existent, just about 800 gold apart now, and that's not unplayable at all for the TA. 6k lead overall for Motivate Trust. Alacrity has tapered off on that Tiny. He has not been able to farm up into the right-click Tiny just yet. He does pick up the Hyperstone. He is saving up for the AC. Once you got the AC, he can just get the Daedalus up and try to dish some damage true for the team. It is fairly slow going. He's not given as much space on the map. He is getting some lanes out now. But Motivate Trust, they see that signaling from the Tiny and they're smoked up.
If they do, Motivate Trust. They can make this team fight work as well. There's not many buybacks on the map right now, so it's a big moment for... Oh, they're going to have the high ground. Polison, he might be the first target. No, they want to go after Joe Cam. get rid of that pesky Tusk. Ice Blast is there, but Joe Cam, he's going to survive. They will commit the egg as well very early. They only seem to get Polison, and that won't be enough for Motivate to be able to force a high ground attempt. Back to the drawing board for them. They'll probably have to play the farm game a bit longer.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait for the next egg to be up first at this point. The next Roche is still ways off. 4 minutes until we see the respawn. GXR, they've got the full Daedalus up on In Your Dream, going towards the Scotty next. Of course, he's got the Ag Shard, so the beam can do work for them. And that does mean that they can just constantly keep the creep waves shoved back with Mizu's damage as well and his wave clear. So there's not much pressure coming out in the lanes. And Motivate Trust are just looking to kind of still keep clumped up. Despite not having the egg, they've got the Epicenter Burrow Strike. They've got the finger ready here on cue. If someone pops out, they could still be pretty dead here.
May just run into each other again. Mizu and Green both there. Q. Oh, they're going to find it with that Lucent Beam, but the Hex is out. They found In Your Dream, and now the Burrow's there again. He got Snowball saved, however, Joe Cam, he saves the day. The BKB will come out. In Your Dream still needs to run back. He's going to pop the Eclipse and try to fight this one out. Fearless is down, but they found Paulson and Joe Cam and Q. He gets the finger off in the back line. He found the Luna. In Your Dream, he has no buyback. Look at the side plates jumping around here from Jackie. Mizu, he's going to try and fight this TA. He's actually doing a great job of it as well. Jackie, he got out of the Melt Strike. He might be in trouble, but no. The Earth Spike again going to save, however, Alacrity keeps moving. Refraction is there. Toss him back into the Death Prophet. Force Staff or rather Hurricane Pike. Jackie still low, but still alive. He'll turn around. He'll get Alacrity. They can't kill him. Jackie's blinked out. Back on the Death Prophet they go. Mizu, he is left behind all by himself. They commit the egg. They will go after him all the way. How does Jackie survive throughout all of that? He was one hit away for so long.
I have no clue how he actually lived there. He was barely alive. Like, it looked like once they burned through the refraction, he should have had the damage, but really great hurricane.
Nah, not enough.
So, good attempt there. It does land this time around from Paulson, but Jackie living throughout the entire engagement doesn't pan out for GXR. And they lose In Your Dream. A really good stall out from Joe Cam with the snowball saves. Just not enough to really win out. And because Jackie's alive, they can actually push. So they take the mid tier 2. The jungle, it's not safe anymore for GXR. Motivate Trust can get the control there. Q, he had a lot of patience. He was silenced up. He was still hiding in the same spot he was spotted at. And then he just looked for the moment In Your Dream was pulling out with his BKB fading, and he just got the finger. I think that patience from Q made that fight a lot more bearable. If In Your Dream was allowed to live, he would have just been sitting back, maybe spamming the Lucent Beam, and that would have been entirely different engagement for Motivate Trust. So they're starting to shape up here and Motivate. GXR, they've still got power in them, and they've still got a Luna. It's not lagging too far behind in farm. They just need to be careful about walking in blind like that. Motivate Trust were very patient with the bait play, and it paid off in a big way. GXR, they need to take these fights on their terms. They need to jump in first with Alacrity, get the engagement they want, isolate the back line, and start melting some of those heroes down.
You're gonna make something happen here, GXR. I mean, it's a really rough position now. So plenty of damage out here within Your Dreams, Luna. It's just a very tough matchup. You're this far behind. Nice blast. Gonna get a bit of vision. They just want to check the Roshan pit to make sure that hasn't been started. But Roshan, not even gonna respawn to another 15 seconds. So they're a bit early. DXR still looking to move in. Roche will find out in 5 when it's gonna respawn. How early does it want to come up this time? Oh. It's going to be a late one. 2 minutes 10. Fearless. Shards. Not going to be on the mark. They even missed the glaive there with the Lucent Beam. It's going to be all about that third Roshan.
Yeah, that could be a very, very big one, depending on what it gives as well. Like, if it's a refresh, and it could still be nice for Motivate Trust having back-to-back eggs. Joe Cam?
Uh-oh. Joe Cam. Yeah, he gets caught out apparently. I'm not 100% sure what he was doing there, but that'll be a Tusk on for 40 seconds. Pings are out towards the top lane. I mean, this Tusk has been a big problem, so maybe Motivate feel like they can try to force the issue now, and they can. Fearless, he found a burrow. That's another nice target. That's Paulison down without buyback. Ice Blast again is one of the big issues. So Motivate, they can try to force a Rax. GXR, they're going to take this fight very cautiously. A tossback is there, but the burrow strike on Alacrity, and now the 4-star forward. Jackie is still fine. Alacrity is going to try and fight with his BKB. But it seems as though Motivate, do they feel like they need to back? You've got the Tusk back up. Yeah, Motivate, they're not interested in going any longer. They're going to back up.
Yeah, it's just a lot of damage output once he moves there. Their bot wave is also depushed. They could just wait for the Roshan now. That will give GXR enough time to regroup as a team though. And they can still take some team fights. So you still have to pay respect to that. Would be keen to see whether or not it's the Ag's Blessing or Refresh. Coming through, I think Motivate Trust might really prefer the Ags. Just say an Ags on Jackie at this point with the projection. He's just going to be all over the map. You can split push a lot faster and split up GXR to force a response out. That could open up opportunities for Motivate Trust to take some better fights here.
GXR still in a position where they need to get something done. Roshan 5 seconds away. They can't afford to let Motivate have this one. And he's scouted out by the trap there with Motivate. GXR going to take the other triangle.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Team's now very well aware. Motivate, they're going to smoke up. They want to try and force the fight right here, right now. Top lane still being forced in. This is a bit awkward now for GXR. Jackie's going to force the racks in and try to force the rotations back to defend. If they don't want to, he would just take the racks. And he does. They're going to try and force the Roshan instead and win out this way, but the Roshan's not going down fast enough. Fearless, he has an Arcana, and he'll go in with the epicenter and the burrow strike, and it looks like Alacrity might drop too fast. He does BKB up. Set zero though. He's already killed off Joe Cap, and now you've lost the Tiny. Alacrity's down. Mizu's going to try and run, but he is so damn low. Looks like he is set to fall. As in your dream, he's going to try and fight back by himself, but you've got Jackie to worry about. The Eclipse does wear off. It's not enough damage. He's going to die. There's no buyback available. Joe Cam, he'll go for a snowball and will fight Fearless, but now he might die to boot. It'll be a dieback, it looks like, on our Tusk. They'll get it. All heroes down on GXR. Roshan open for Motivate. Now, if they realize there's no buybacks, they could rush the tier 4s, but they may as well go for the Roshan first.
Yep. Safer play here for the side of Motivate Trust. No rush. They give the refresh shard onto set 0, so they've got the potential for back-to-back eggs or just a pop on the Aeon Disc if necessary. Jackie, they are pinging out the tier 4s coming out. They could go for it. They're just shoving in the top wave to get some space out to get the back door off, and Jackie's gonna go for the safe play. Just go for the mid tier 3. They can't take bot, so no mega creeps because the tier 2 still stands. But without those buybacks, I think Jackie's suspecting it. He's just standing right behind the tower. And yeah, tier 4s.
Absolutely. You've got 35 seconds to win your dreams back up. That is going to be way too long. Alacrity, Paulison, they could try to defend this. Even a Swift Link now up on Jackie going to escalate things even further. Surprisingly, Jack is the only one hitting the tier 4 as the rest of Motivate are patiently waiting for a jump in. Nobody's coming though, because nobody's really alive. Alacrity now, he's going to come in with the BKB and try to slow this down, but the Ancient is exposed. Jackie, he'll get back to work. He'll just focus the Ancient down while the Rolling Thunder is there from Masaros. Ice Blast, Mizu is back. They do have In Your Dream in 1 second, and here we go. They'll try one last defense. Avalanche is there. They've got Jackie. The Aegis is still up. Jackie, he won't stop hitting the Ancient. They're going to focus the objectives down. GXR, they're going to try and play tower defense. BKBs are out though. You cannot defend this. GG's called. Ancient does explode at 40.
Make your band. Five seconds. Seconds.
You!
No, me first!
Prepare for battle.
Let's go north!
No, south! Let me through!
Ow!
This one is in the bag.
The stalwart will hold, the weak will falter.
Good idea.
'Cause it was mine. Me first!
Is that a squirrel?
Come on!
30 seconds to battle.
I'll do legs this time.
Okay.
Who will emerge victorious?
What, it ain't started already?
I got it. Reckon I hit something.
Who's stopping you?
First blood is on the ground, and we're already looking for
Blade of
more.
action has tasted first blood.
Who do you think you are?
Oh, the magic! You?
Why there?
Who knows?
Yep.
Yep. My turn.
I saw a thing.
Huh?
Hit the road.
Ow!
After you.
After you. Good idea.
'Cause it was mine.
Out of here. There we go again.
Where? Yeah.
Yep.
Yup.
Guess we better.
Yup.
I'm under attack.
Guess we better.
Yep.
This way.
That away. Okay.
Running's not as fun as hitting.
Not one bit fun.
The player has disconnected from the fight.
Okay. Hit the road.
Ow!
Is that a squirrel?
Come on.
This way.
That away.
I'm open.
Yep.
Yup.
You go
go
first. Hey, you were on fire. Good idea.
'Cause it was mine. I saw a thing.
Huh?
Yeah. When can I hit something?
Who's stopping you? Me first. I'll do legs this time.
Okay.
Out of my way.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Why there?
Who knows? Let's go north.
No, south. Let me through.
Ow!
How might this rebalance the fight? 10 were called to battle. Not all remain.
After you.
After you.
It is your man. Five seconds remain. 10 seconds remain. The choice is yours.